substance for many industries and many manufacturing, either food or non-food, for the cattle feeding, for the chemical products, or for the beauty products as the cosmetic products before they have the final products and then sent to the consumers. So before we elaborate what should be the implementations of the sustainable oil palm supply chain, I would like you to bear in mind that the supply chain consists with many stakeholder, or we call multi-stakeholder, and it also have supporting sectors that we didn't talk much in this framework, but we also have a supporting sector who are government, who are bank, and who are the institution who support knowledge, finance, and informations to the supply chain.
Okay, Cynthia has explained to you how is the sustainability of supply chain, how it has three pillars that are people, planet, and profits. And people is talking about the social aspect, and planet is talking about environment aspect, and profits is talking about the economy aspect. Now, I will explain to you how this sustainability is being implemented to the palm oil industry. Okay, let's start from the first aspect, that is people or social aspect. So my group divided this aspect into two categories that are for society and also for the employees. So the first category is implementing sustainability for society. So the first one is promote and protect the human rights. It means all the stakeholders in palm oil industry is promoting and protecting all human rights. Next is ban land grabbing from the indigenous people. It is unjustified for them if we just dispose these people to make a new plantation area. And then after that, the palm oil industry should promote smallholders inclusion. It means we include all smallholders to contribute in our supply chain. And last but not least, the palm oil industry should be open for public or private partnerships and also achieve the livelihood of society. Okay, now we move to the second categories, that is for employees. To make the palm oil industry become sustainable, they should ensure of their employees, including insurance or other works rights. Not stop until that, the industry should also provide the development, skill, and employability programs. And finally, the palm oil industry should be implementing a diversity policy. Why is it so? Because in Indonesia, Thailand, and France, for example, they have different contexts and situation in doing their exercise in palm oil industry. So we need a diversity policy, right? Okay, now we move to the second aspect, that is planet, the environment aspect. So the first thing that the palm oil industry do to implement the sustainability is by intensification. It can be done by using fertilizer more efficiently and using the better quality seeds by breeding, for example. The second one, the palm oil industry is against deforestation. To make the palm oil industry sustainable, there should be no practices of clearing the forested land to make a new palm oil plantation. Now we move to traceability. In order to make the palm oil industry sustainable, start from the plantation, process to the mill, until the distribution of the products are traceable. And now 90% of palm oil supply chain is already traceable. And last but not least is waste management. So again, to make the palm oil industry sustainable, we should reuse, recover, and recycle the waste. One of the realization is the zero waste policy that is initiated by GAR. And now we arrived at the economy aspect or the profitability of this industry. So the first thing first is transparency. The transparency of this industry can be shown by the progress report and also the compliance monitoring and verification. Next is about the product's quality. So, in order to achieve that sustainability, this industry should provide the innovative and good quality products or sustainable products that meets the expectation of the stakeholders. And finally, certification. Certification is one of the forms of sustainability implementation in palm oil industry. By investing in the certification and its development programs, it can open up partnership opportunities and increase sales.
Okay, thanks, Evelyn, for explaining how to implement the sustainable supply chain in palm oil industry. And I'm going to talk about on what is the youth role in helping the sustainable supply chain oil. First thing first is through education. Even though many youths are concerned about the impacts of palm oil production, about half of them, like much of us, really don't know what could be done differently, and were really unrelatively familiar with the concept of sustainable palm oil. For some, sustainability meant recycling, packaging. For others, it's low carbon footprint, fair wages, no harms to biodiversity and forests. A few also mentioned ensuring the absence of cruelty and corruption in the supply chain system. But it's more than that. So from this uh, So, what I'm trying to state is that I truly believe that without educating our youth and without trying to have them digest this information in easy or trying to adapt in the like try to use social media to get the message across, I think this would be a better way in helping our youth to be more aware, which is going on to my second point. Okay, like I have mentioned, through education that we can create awareness. When we educate the youth, there will be an increase of awareness, and as part of the palm oil supply chain, Asian youth is crucial in influencing the markets towards transforming it to this more sustainable palm oil chain. Next, I'm going to talk on the ethical consumption. So, most of us are unfamiliar with the concept of sustainable palm oil to begin with. So, most of us are not even aware of the hidden palm oil in many of our products, such as instant noodles, margarine, which is a vegetable fat alternative to butter, ice cream, chocolate, and cookies. Neither do they know it is also placed in non-edible products, including like detergents, cosmetics, toothpaste, and even skin lotions. So this shows that the youth role in just being a conscious consumer in trying to choose which is much more ethically produced or and through our decisions we can help to make the world a better place. Okay, next is integrating. Finally, there is no use if we have the knowledge and awareness but refuse to integrate it in our daily lives. Barack Obama once said, "We are the first generation to feel the effects of climate and the last generation that can do something about it." So we as youth need to step up and take our role in helping the sustainable supply chain all because we are the future. That is all from my group. If you have any further question, feel free to ask for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Group One. A very nice presentation. I hope for those who are presenting, please put your camera on. So if you want to spotlight your camera, you have your live there. Next, let's join me to in group.
The term of supply chain is already familiar to us. This term is often used in production activities. However, do you know what the supply chain is? Here in this video, I would like to explain the definition about supply chain. Let's check it out.
The supply chain is one of the main activities in the key to the success of moving products from processed raw materials to consumers. The supply chain is a network between a company and its suppliers to manufacture and distribute certain products to final buyers. Supply chain is a coordinated system consisting of organizations, human resources, activities, information, and other resources that are involved together to move a product or goods. It is a chain of companies and operations that goes into making the individual parts that come together to form the final product until it reaches the final buyer. The elements of the supply chain include all functions starting with receiving orders to fulfilling customer demands. This function include product development, marketing, operations, distribution networks, finance, and customer service. Palm oil has a long supply chain. It can involve many steps, from palm oil plantation to mill, then to refinery for further chemical processing and manufacturing, and finally to our daily products until it reaches the consumers. Combination of both smallholder farmers and large agricultural companies involved in growing palm oil. With the length of the supply chain and so many parties involved, palm oil supply chain becomes very complex. If the supply chain is not well integrated, then this will also cause various problems, especially for the environment and the cost incurred. Traceability is a way for companies to identify where palm oil comes from, its supply chain, processing methods, and etc. to ensure the assurance and transparency of the palm oil. Traceability is indeed very complex and difficult, but its existence is needed because it is one way to reduce the negative impact of an unintegrated supply chain, and it's one of the efforts to realize the sustainable palm oil supply chain. So, in that explanation, we can conclude that the supply chain is the flow of goods from one part to another according to the planned purpose. The supply chain is very important in production activities because it is links the company to one or more of upstream and downstream flows of products, supplies, finance, and information from the source to a customer.
Sustainable supply chain management is the management of supply chain in a way that integrates the sustainability objectives and requirements defined by the firm, suppliers, manufacturers, and customers. According to Blank, sustainable supply chain management is an approach to manage the processes and activities of the entire supply chain to improve company performance by taking into account the economic, environmental, and social aspects as a whole that all members of the supply chain must reach in order to make the supply chain sustainable. It is also must be transparent and traceable. A sustainable palm oil supply chain should manage all the processes in the palm oil production and distribution using environmentally friendly inputs and the conversion of the inputs into the outputs using technologies that cause no harm to the environment. This process also results in outputs that can be reclaimed and possibly reused at the end of the product life cycle. There are a few importance of sustainable supply chain management, such as will help in reducing environmental risk, pollution, and improving environmental performance. Sustainability supply chain aim to ensure that the development of the palm oil industry does not contribute to further deforestation and environmental degradation, but contributes to improving the social well-being of the workers and the communities involved. It is also will help improve the productivity of the organization. Furthermore, the organization will achieve marketing advantages, improve corporate image and organizational reputation. Certain environmental and social initiatives helps the organization in having the closest relationship to the consumers.
Well, I will continue my friend's explanation. Sustainable change is one that minimizes the environmental damage while it's not neglecting the social conditions, such as worker health and safety. It's also transparent and flexible. The sustainable change also impacted to the social communities and environment. The impact to the social communities, the first one, sustainable change respects the rights of local communities and indigenous people. Refers to the free, prior, and informed consent needs to be stabilized when the processing on the community's land. Second one, the operation of sustainable change have to support the livelihood of local communities and local economies because it has benefit to the operation within their jurisdiction. It means that the sustainable change has a zero human rights infringement because when they do the process or the processing to make the products, they still have and make the agreement to the local communities because it's do in the community land. And the second, the environment impact. The first one, the sustainable change minimize carbon emission. Means that sustainable change do not make any trouble into the water for the human sources and the natural sources. It minimizes the trouble. And the second one, no significant environmental degradation or environmental harm to improper practices such as burning and waste disposal. Because when they do the process to make the products, they still take care of the clean, of the comfortable environment, the natural sources of the human sources. They still take care while they do the practices. And the last one, avoiding detrimental impacts to habitats of indigenous species. Means that sustainable change or palm oil plantation didn't relate to the deforestation that happens in Indonesia and Malaysian forest because they take care of the natural sources, they take care of the environment, especially for the forest, while the plantation exists. And then they still take care of the habitat of animals. They don't want to make the habitat close to the animal because it will make the consistent or it will make the animals still have the habitat and do the activity because the sustainable change still take care of the environment. I think that's all from me. Thank you. My friends will continue.
Implementing sustainable supply chain are challenges that must be faced one point of producers investment. The challenge faced by producers is in terms of raw material. Producers are likely to use sustainable or certificate palm oil raw material because of high costs. Then the intensive aspect that there is not regulation from the government required every company include a certification logo on its products that companies are less likely to choose sustainable palm oil. And in terms of customer that is more concerned with economic value and the value of sustainability. Success is implementing a sustainable supply chain contributions by manufacturers. As a manufacturer, companies also provide clear information so that customers understand the product and the customer as well the raw material content come from. Clear production stage, better handling of the product produced so as to maintain environmental sustainability. What the government also play regulation to companies, especially palm oil to require the use of sustainable palm oil companies by use of certification was in part which is more. It is expected to customers to prepare product that have sustainable value compared to economic value. Preserving the environmental is also more very quality of the product. The important of awareness is active sustainable supply chain for all parties the awareness nice habitat loss and environmental sustainability. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's proceed to the third group.
Assalamualaikum. Halo semua. Sawadika. Hello everyone. We are from Group 3. Today we would like to present you our presentation with the theme of supply chain of palm oil. So let's get started. In daily activities, when we wake up in the morning, we take a shower using soap, brush our teeth with toothpaste, and frying rice with oil. Do you know that all of those are using palm oil as the ingredient? Right, I also just know that. So what is palm oil? Palm oil is an edible vegetable oil that comes from the fruit of palm tree. It has the scientific name called Elasis guenensis. There are two types of oil that can be produced. The first one is the fruit palm oil that came from squeezing the fleshy fruit. And the second one is the palm kernel oil, which comes from crushing the kernel or the stone in the middle of the fruit. So why the use of palm oil is very high? There are several reasons for it. The first one, the palm oil production is the widest in the world if we compare it to other vegetables oil. Other than that, the palm oil also produces more oil using less land and has lower price rather than any vegetables oil. The soybean, coconut, and sunflower even using 4 to 10 times less than palm oil. Due to the reason, of course, the use of palm oil is very high. Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand are included as countries which produce the highest palm oil in the globe. So how the palm oil is produced and distributed to consumers? The process of palm oil from the plantation to consumer is called a supply chain. The supply chain is a system of a series of activities that include coordination, scheduling, and control consisting organization, human resources, activities, information, and other resources for the procurement, production, inventory, and delivery of products or services from a supplier to consumers.
And this is the picture of supply chain process. So the plantation owner will open a new plantation, and this could mean we need to cut the forest, especially rainforest. And due to this activity, some animals will need to move, and the area will be cleared up. It may use fire, but still under control. But after that, the plantation owner will start to plant the palm tree, and it will take around 4 years for palm tree to produce the fruits that measure enough to be the harvest. And the harvester will chop off the palm branches and collect the bundles of the ripe palm fruit or the fresh fruit branches or FFB, and those palm fruit will be distributed by truck to the mill, and in the mill, the worker will steam the fruits and press so it will have crude palm oil extract, or we call CPO. In one piece of the palm fruit consists 50% of oil, and the palm oil will be distributed to the refinery, and the palm kernels will be distributed to the crushing plant. And in the refinery, the crude palm oil will be degumming and having the neutralization and pre-treatment blanching, and also deodorization. Later, the palm oil will be distributed all over the world to be the manufacturer. And both of palm oil and palm kernels are used by the manufacturing to the food industry, such as biscuits, cakes, ice cream, margarine, mayonnaise, and the cosmetic, and also the detergent. And detergent industries such as soap, detergent, and the chemical industries such as paint, grease, and even livestock industry for the meat products. And this is the another picture that I will wrap up for the supply chain process. So as you can see, it starts from the plantation, right? And then it will sent to the mill. And worker will steam and press it. And when the process is finished, they just send to the collection port and then export to the another collection port. They will send to a refinery to process and will send to margarine manufacturer, and last one will send to the cookies manufacturer again. So why does supply chain need to be managed? So there are the three aspects that need to be focused on supply chain. And there is the economic revenue, social welfare, and also the environment. So economic revenue will be dependent on the demand of palm oil around the globe. And revenue or profit will be gained by the company if the demand of palm oil is high. So social welfare is focusing on supplying availability and additional worker due to the opening new plantation and weather area. Over the year, the plantation always become weather and opening new job for people. So for the people, right? And the last aspect is the environment. Due to the increase of palm oil, so demand by manufacturers around the world causing the plantation owner need to open new land. And it will cause more deforestation and make animals lose their houses. And yeah, those reasons are the main point on why supply chain need to be managed. So supply chain management will help the several business objectives. It will help the company control industrial activities process. So it will improve the product quality, reducing the lawsuits, and also build strong consumer brand. And this later will make three abstract aspects of the supply chain can be achieved.
Is sustainability supply chain can be achieved? Yes, of course. By managing all of the activities in the supply chain from plantation to the distribution of products for the consumer, by still considering the three aspects: human, economic, environment. One of the ways is called traceability. Now, what is traceability? Traceability and its benefits to sustainability in supply chain. Traceability is supply to trace a food, feed, food processing, animal, or a substance through all stages of production, processing, and distribution. Product traceability is a pursuit to ensure that the quality of product complies with the regulation of economics, health, and the environment. Traceability covers the circle of overall product from manufacturing to packaging and distribution. These processes involve ingredients, procedures, test results, resources used, and transport methods. Firms that implement reliable traceability systems increase safety precautions and enhance customer confidence and trust through assurance of quality and safety. This trust can add more value to their product and encourage consumers to pay higher prices for products with accurately traceable origin. In short, for palm oil production, traceability will make us understand where and how oil palm fruit, or fresh food branches are produced, and whether it complies with sustainability policy. Traceability data is also a tool to identify the engaged supplier, mills, and small farmers. How supply chain support sustainability? Right now, some private companies are irresponsible by burning forests which cause important animals in food chain balance such as tiger or orangutan are dead. Moreover, the carbon and methane from burning forests will increase air pollution, increase greenhouse effect, and in the end, having negative impact on the climate. These problems won't stop there. Some of the private companies are even implying children with force. By implementing supply chain and considering the three aspects, the economics, revenue, social welfare, and environment, it will support sustainability. Moreover, stakeholders such as government, manufacturers, plantation owners need to work together to achieve the sustainability supply chain. Other than that, palm oil companies are encouraged to have a sustainable certification that has global standards called RCO.
There are also certifications called RSPO. What are they? Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil, or RSPO, is a non-profit making organization that unites stakeholders from 7 sectors of palm oil industry. Number one, oil palm producers, palm oil processors or traders, consumer goods manufacturers, retailers, banks, investors, environmental or nature conservation NGOs, and social or developmental NGOs to develop and implement global standards for sustainable palm oil. Indonesia and Malaysia have their certification bodies called ISPO, Indonesian Sustainable Palm Oil, and MSPO, Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil. What are the benefits of certification? The RSPO have set up certification system, and some of the benefits, one is to ensure the palm oil is produced sustainable, which is called producer or grower certification or principal and criteria certification. The other is to ensure the integrity of trade in sustainable palm oil, that is, the palm oil sold as sustainable palm oil has indeed been produced by certified plantations. Both systems involve third-party certification bodies. Such rigorous certification systems considerably reduce the use of consumers to use palm oil that is produced not sustainably. Those that support and maintain the sustainability of palm oil in the supply chain in some aspects include prosperity, fuel, and environment. So if somebody asks, is palm oil support sustainability and help to achieve the sustainability of palm oil? Yes, certification assuredly supports the sustainability of palm oil.
And that's all for our presentation today. Thank you for giving us your attention. Goodbye.
Thank you. Group 3. Now you can type your questions in chat box to each group. Group 1, Group 3, or Group 5. 3, 5 minutes to respond to. Type the question in the chat box. I will read the question for you and will be answered by the group. Make your questions directly to each group. Okay, we wait. All right, I'll check. So far, no question from the judges. Well, while waited for the judges' questions, let's watch the video playback. I hope during the video playback, the judges can raise a question and raise. Admin, can you play the video back? Playback?
Now and we act together. As a company, the top manager should be aware and make changes to the supply chain processes in order to fulfill the three bottom line of sustainability that are people, planet, and profits. They should embrace and support any innovation that come up along the way to achieve sustainability. As the consumer, we should also be aware and change our product preferences to the sustainable one, so that only the company that can make sustainable supply chain who is going to remain. Together, we can save our Earth and civilization.
By focusing solutions on the three pillars of sustainability: technology and innovation, laws and governance, and last but not least, economics and financial incentives, I am extremely confident that the new normal, with sustainability at its core, can eventually be created, allowing both companies and corporations alike to truly achieve a sustainable supply chain.
As for my perspective, the sustainable supply chains of palm oil is possible to be achieved by making product certification to perceive sustainability of the palm oil product, such as, for example, the Indonesian Sustainable Palm Oil or ISPO scheme, and the need of awareness of a sustainability goal that, by definition, must follow awareness raising and again has its form shaped by stakeholders.
Palm oil makers have in the few past years adopted policies that promises no deforestation, no peat development, and no exploitation. These policies are usually applicable across the company's supply chains, including the third-party suppliers and smallholders. They require farmers to stop burning land to clear it, assess land, and high carbon stock and high conservation value.
Sustainability assumes that resources are finite and should be used carefully and wisely in long-term objectives and the implication of the resource usage as well.
Sustainability encourages businesses to frame decisions in terms of environmental, social, and human impact for the long term. It influences them to consider all the important factors rather than the immediate profit or the short-term gains, which could be a disaster in the future.
Sustainable supply chain can be achieved with the fulfillment of three elements for a long-term success. The first one, people. Sustainability efforts should address the eradication of poverty, and the needs of the poor in all the nations must be met. And the second one, environment. It is very important to carry out cost-benefit analysis to minimize the impact of palm oil. And the third one is the economy or the profit. And it is very important for us to identify how can the cost be reduced and to amplify the benefit.
The best way to tackle the problem is by strengthening regulations, because those regulations and the certification is really good enough to support the sustainability of palm oil. By strengthening and also promoting the regulations and the certification, we hope it will make people still able to plant palm oil. On the other side, it will create job opportunities to a lot of people to reduce the poverty.
It is particularly important that the conservation of the land used for plantations doesn't impact adversely on the environment.
Company can try to find a more effective shipment or delivery process in order to reduce the use of energy. Or we can do it by finding a better way to manage a waste, pollution, or emission. By achieving that sustainability supply chain, we can make not only profit and people who use the product, but also the environment in balance.
With the goals of eradicating poverty, safeguard the global environment, and to guarantee that human beings will live in peace and thriving. And some of the goals are to eliminating the poverty, eliminating the starving, having a good health.
Therefore, sustainable development practice help countries grow in ways that adapt to the challenges posed by climate change, which will in turn help to protect important natural resources for ours and future generations.
It needs economic harmony, social development, along with environmental protection.
Evaluate a company's overall performance by measuring the company's.
This can be achieved if we are able to manage palm oil waste effectively and efficiently. There is a transparency of information between farmers, agents, and manufacturers, and is able to maintain the quality of palm oil in accordance with standardization.
If we can manage palm oil export activity well, so that domestic needs can be fulfilled, so yes, sustainable supply chain can be achieved.
This sustainable agriculture supply chain could be achieved if each affluent of the chain adopts the practices in its operation. The previous analysis in fact clearly indicates that the research is focusing on how to be improved that the sustainability could be achieved within the supply chain.
In order to make a supply chain management, you're probably going to create some more emission while make this bioresource more viable.
It consists of a small number of stakeholders in most companies.
We should have sustainable supply chain management to manage using of resource wisely. Supply chain sustainability benefit not only company-owned interests and those of their stakeholders, but also society and planet at large.
If we can pretend and focus on how to tackle down regulation issue, we can make sure the interest of the government and the interest of the palm oil movement would like to be better.
All depend on the readiness and understanding of the person and institution. So, sustainability supply chain has realized if pay attention consumption and management waste palm oil, turning into the biomass as substitute natural gas.
And therefore able to continue for a long time. Plus thinking and doing sustainability in your every aspect.
So in a nutshell of sustainability, all the businesses, stakeholders associated with the farm oil and other agriculture commodities production, these businesses will be more profitable, environmental friendly, and acceptable all across the globe if they are produced with less environmental and social impacts.
It is the need of the time we should take effective measures for the sustainable supply chain management in the palm oil industry in order to ensure livelihoods and food security.
It is also really important to take into account the welfare of factory workers as well as farmers and miners who will help us to obtain the raw materials that are used in production and manufacturing. Not only should their economic rights be protected with fair wages and insurance policies, their health should also be protected through legally mandated healthy working environments.
We should choose and collaborate with other sustainable suppliers. While the fourth one factor through which we achieve sustainability is we should set supply chain sustainability goals that reflect global sustainability goals.
SSG can be achieved if producers can maintain the quality of the CPO and are able to meet market demand, ensuring that CPO raw materials come from sustainable source and track the farm oil product back to its origin, making sure that the farm oil was legally sourced as well as produced from an environmental and social conflict-free area.
That if the obstacle can be resolved, then supply chain management of palm oil or CPO will be possible to implement them.
We must always consult with the relevant agencies so that the quality of our oil plant production doesn't decline, and most important,
So we need to improve the step by step about the vision and mission. And I think as a student we can give the providing understanding.
Building a sustainable supply chain can be achieved through a diligent and transparent process and procedures. However, it may be challenging in some cases, such as oil palm cultivation, as it is involving relatively large supply chain and commitment. There are several factors that contribute to the successful adoption of sustainability in oil palm cultivation, such as difficult to determine custody, the complexity of oil palm supply chain, unable to meet the cost of certification, the lack of premium on its production, and unnecessary administrative costs.
That smallholder farmers can be trained to become more sustainable as the training smallholder farmers result in improved yields and higher quality crop, which is directly improve the livelihood of smallholders and the future supply of products. That's good news for everyone.
Sustainable supply chain could be achieved through the government. The government of the country need to take an initiative in order to work on the policies.
An important step to achieving sustainability is earning buy-in from your own staff, and that is supplier.
When these three stakeholder groups work together to promote sustainable outcomes, the sustainable supply chain becomes much more achievable.
It is certainly not impossible that palm oil sustainable supply chain will be realized. We should start to develop an awareness of the importance of palm oil sustainability. One of them is trying to buy only palm oil products to comply with RSPO standard.
GAP, or Good Agriculture Practice, is a certification system in the production process of agriculture products. GAP is very important for oil palm farmers to apply.
Last but not least, connectivity can be achieved with the application in non-related agriculture.
Sustainable development is able to meet and optimize the needs of present and future generations indefinitely.
All right, thank you. We have the video. Now we have questions here. For group one, first question to group one, is it possible to become sustainable from the downstream product? Group one, you can answer. Hello, group one. Can you answer the questions, please? There are two questions for you.
Hello. Yes. Yeah, we are from group one. Do you hear me well? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So thank you for the question, or the Mirawati Yanita. Okay. The answer is yes. We have an optimistic thinking of that. But we need the collective actions, because along the supply chain we cannot play the role by individual sectors, and that is why upstream, midstream, and downstream we have to do the collective action. Why the collaborations, we have to help each other. Like for example, the farmers in the upstream should do the have a certificate, have the RSPO, for example, and the midstream who are processing used to have the plantations or refinery in terms of the CSPO certificates as well, and they might have some, contact or something like GAR did that they can monitor it or they can traceability products, and it make the trust for the people who are driving the demand in the consumer side. So I think if the system is a flow like this, so we can improve the sustainable oil palm industry. Yes, that is the questions. Is that that is the answer? So is that clear for you?
Okay, the next questions you can answer.
The next question will be Evelyn will answer for that.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to add something from for the first question. Like we can also implement the like our presentation said, the traceability from the plantation until the retailers. We trace the how the supply chain of this palm oil, so we know what happens toward this production or what happens towards this distribution and so on and so forth. So if there is those traceability and also transparency, we believe that this upstream, midstream, and downstream can be sustainable together with the collective action. And for the second question is about how is the best way to encourage awareness via technology to our youth on the importance of supply chain in palm oil industry. Thank you for Azra Rahman. And we see that the young people, the youth, is like very close to the social media, and that social media is also the technology. So we see if we use like social media to create a poster, for example, or create Instagram post and talking about environment with a more digestible, more easy to digest information, we can reach that youth awareness. We can reach that youth willingness to support this supply chain sustainability in the palm oil industry. And maybe Atika want to add something.
Yes, I think for us to expose the youth and to generate more awareness is to go where the youth are going, such as the platform which is TikTok. You doing like a 30-second video to promote and to show figures on what is the situation that is happening currently, and also doing like Evelyn said, going to Instagram, doing a photo post, or we can also use Twitter. There's a bunch of other social media platforms that the youth are more in that they are going to interact with a lot. That's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Group 1. The next questions to Group 2. Okay, Group 2. Question for you.
Yes, am I audible, sir?
Okay, Group 2. Answer.
Okay, thank you for the judge of the question. So the initiative that we can use to attract the producer to complete the sustainable change. The first one also, we know that we should make a big promotion about the sustainable chain palm oil, because we know that the palm oil is the best oil right now, and a very environmentally friendly. It's not like the previous oils such as soybean oil and etc. That's why we should make a big promotion, and we can in the promotion we also put that the benefits if it is the producer or the consumer, I mean, use the palm oil productions, because we know that palm oil is a very hot and etc. And also we know the palm oil has a cheaper price than another palm oil and another oil, right? Maybe my friends can add some answer maybe.
Okay, thank you. So in order to attract the producer to comply with the sustainable supply chain, of course, the government also can give a tax incentive or tax exemption to the producer, because it will help them in reducing cost or something. And then the government also can works on the policy, which is where they must to comply to the certain schemes like MSPO and ISPO, so that they need to work on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 2. The next questions for Group 3. Next question for Group 3. What is your vision on the sustainability supply chain of the palm oil in 10 years from today? Group 3, please answer this question.
All right, thank you very much for the questions. The first, our vision is we are confident it will be achieved. All of the palm oil producers in the world are using the supply chain management to achieve the sustainability supply chains and the sustainability of palm oil. So by using the management, the mission is they have to manage all of those kind of the supply chain, from the plantations to the mill and all of the things. So they will receive they will be achieved the three aspects: the most important aspect, the environment, the economic, and the social welfare. Why this is important? Because there is a lot of people already aware about that. Especially in Europe, maybe in the Asia is not that much. They really aware about the importance of the sustainability of palm oil. So that is why, because like some of them are already achieved the aspect, we are confident in the 10 years our visions of the sustainable palm oil will be achieved. The next one, our vision is all of the society will be able to consume the product from the producer of palm oil that use only sustainable palm oil, or at least have the certifications. So how to do that? Like the Group 1 or Group 2 already mentioned about that, we need to do the educations and promotions. Me as a medical student, actually I received so much information for this conference, but there is a lot of people that not doing this not join this conference, maybe don't understand. That is why the promotion is not is needed to be done in the social media, especially for the youth, and then also maybe newspaper, TV, and all of the things. And the third vision is a really good coordination for all of the stakeholders to improve the sustainability supply chain. For example, the government regulate and make the certification process easier and better. And then the palm oil producer, they're doing their best to do and achieve the three aspects of sustainable supply chains by managing their factory. And the last one is even the society, we hope that we can encourage the society by using only the sustainable supply chains. I think that's all. Maybe my friends want to edit more.
Okay, just go on.
Actually, one of the very veritable weapon or tool that were used in the supply world as the supply chain management is to give incentives to the producers. And by giving incentive to the producers is by giving them a sort of price premium, so that they can be able to have a product that were attracting premium for them. And the best way in order to encourage, in order to achieve the vision of sustainability supply chain in the next 10 years is through youth. We can use students to create pro-environmental, or inculcate pro-environmental attitude to them. Because most of the students, they are the potential, most of the youth are the potential consumers of the end product of palm oil. like, and they are the growing population. So therefore, we will start from that point by, encouraging a lot of students to, a lot of youth and final consumers to imbibe the culture of, consuming certified sustainable palm oil products. And the household will be given incentives in order to use, premium palm oil products. So by so doing, in the next 10 years, the vision of achieving sustainable supply chain will be possible, because we have to start from bottom to the top, not from the top to the bottom. Government can give all the incentives, government can give all the regulation and whatsoever to the producers, but as for the consumers, we need to incentivize them by creating a for environmental or green consumerism attitude towards them, to them. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for group 1, group 2, and group 3. It's a very nice topic you have presented. I hope that the judges can score the presentation and your additional answer to the questions. Let's jump next topic. The next topic is deforestation. This topic will be presented by four. I would like to invite group 4 to start your presentation.
Forest is called as the world's lungs because they have a role as producer of oxygen. The survival of living things in the world depends on the level of oxygen available on the Earth's surface. Forests are also referred to as springs because forests have trees that can absorb the capacity of water that falls to the earth as a result of rain. Not only that, the forest is a home for wild animals because the forest is a natural habitat for various wild animals. In addition to wild animals in the forest, there are also very diverse flora and fauna, and some are even protected by law because the flora and fauna are few in number or even close to extinction. However, it is very unfortunate that there are many cases of deforestation that occur in various countries, especially in Indonesia and Malaysia. This deforestation has a bad impact on forest ecosystem. Namely, the forest does not have a water catchment areas anymore due to the deforestation process. Many wild animals, flora and fauna die as a result of the deforestation process that only cares about their personal interests. Before continuing, do you know what deforestation is? According to the KBVI, deforestation is a forest cutting activity. In the regulation of the Minister of Forestry of the Republic of Indonesia concerning procedures for reducing emission from deforestation and forest degradation. The definition of deforestation is also written. Deforestation is the permanent conversion of forest area into non-forest land for human activities. Indirectly, deforestation changed the function of the forest, which was originally a forest as a place for preserving flora and fauna, into a palm oil industrial area. Over time, the forest area has decreased from year to year as a result of large-scale land clearing. This deforestation also has a big problem, namely its activities are also carried out by burning forests. The method of forest burning is actually not recommended because it will have a bad effect on health and will cause new problems, namely widespread forest fires. As happened on the island of Kalimantan and Sumatra, the result of burning forests into protracted fires and because of the large number of wetlands caused the process of handling these forest fires to be long. Others such as in Singapore, Brunei Darussalam, and Malaysia. If forests are continuously deforested, the oxygen supply on Earth will decrease because trees that absorb carbon dioxide are not available. So the oxygen needed by humans will decrease. Deforestation of these forests will result in higher levels of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases and even out of control because nothing else is able to absorb all of the carbon dioxide on Earth's surface. In addition, the bad impact of deforestation is increasing global warming on Earth due to damage to forest ecosystem and deforestation. Another impact of this deforestation is what we can feel right now, namely that our area often have floods. This happens because the forest which serve as a water catchment area cannot carry out its duties properly, so that the water goes downstream which cause water to collect in an area and cause flooding. Because there is no more support on the surface of the soil, usually there will be a follow-up disaster, namely landslides. This happens especially at the beginning of land clearing, because at the beginning the newly planted plants are still not able to hold water, so the soil experiences a high level of instability and at any time may experience ground displacement. Responding to what is happening or the problems above deforestation is indeed a very sensitive matter. Prior to land clearing, it is advisable to hold a meeting with the existing stakeholders so that this deforestation really does not cause protected problems. We have a suggestion for this land clearing problem is to use the concept of environmentally friendly land clearing by not burning the forest, namely by using heavy equipment for the land clearing process so that the clear forest does not cause fire problems. Although this is a little bit expensive, we think this is the best way to deal with the problem of forest fires that occur in Indonesia and Malaysia. Furthermore, in our opinion, this requires the government's attention in dealing with the deforestation process. The government must really take a stand where forest area can be used for industrial plantation and which area are truly areas where flora and fauna are preserved, so that forest ecosystems are maintained and so that our children and grandchildren can enjoy the natural beauty that we will still inherit. Before carrying out deforestation, the government must cross-check the areas of companies that have permits of companies that do not have permits to clear land so that there are no mistaken forest clearing which can experience ongoing problems. To maintain the forest ecosystem, there needs to be a synergy by the government, companies, and the community so that no one feels disadvantaged. And we think if this can be realized, then the forest ecosystem, flora and fauna, can survive as it should. Deforestation is the permanent removal of trees to make room for something beside forests. This can include clearing the land for agriculture or grazing, or using timber for fuel, construction, or manufacturing. Forests cover more than 30% of the Earth's land surface. According to the World Wildlife Fund, this forest area can provide food, medicine, and fuel to more than a billion people. Worldwide forests provide 13.4 million people with jobs in the forest sector, and another 41 million people have jobs related to the forest. Today, most deforestation is happening in the tropics. Areas that were inaccessible in the past are now within reach as new roads are constructed through the dense forest. The warm, humid climate of the tropics offer perfect growth conditions for all palms. Day after day, huge tracts of rainforests in South Asia, Latin America, and Africa are being bulldozed or torched to make room for more plantation, releasing vast amounts of carbon into the atmosphere. As a consequence, Indonesia, the world's largest producer of palm oil, temporarily surpassed the United States in terms of greenhouse gas emission in 2015. With their carbon dioxide and methane emission, palm oil-based biofuels actually have 3 times the climate impact of traditional fossil fuels. Palm oil is not only bad for the climate, as their forest habitat is clear, endangered species such as the orangutan, Borneo elephant, and Sumatran tiger are being pushed closer to extinction. Smallholders and indigenous people who have inhabited and protected the forest for generations are often brutally driven from their land. In Indonesia, more than 700 land conflicts are related to the palm oil industry. Human rights violations are everyday occurs, even on supposedly sustainable and organic plantation. Recent official data suggests that deforestation has begun to slow. Palm oil plantation expansion in both Indonesia and Malaysia had been steadily declining in the past decade. After a rapid increase in the 2000s, but challenges associated with the monitoring and enforcement of government moratoria have limited their effectiveness in halting deforestation. More ambitious and concerted action is needed if we are to maintain and accelerate the progress made so far. Smallholders also play an important role in palm oil production.
accounting for approximately 40% of global production. With limited capacity, support, and incentive, smallholders have few resources at their disposal to adopt more sustainable production practice, a situation that has resulted in supporting smallholders to take up more responsible practice is therefore key to reducing the industry impact.
Demand for land for expansion of oil palm plantation from forest area not only from large-scale companies but also from smallholders. Based on research of Seretal 2014 mentioned that smallholders plantation caused the reduction of forest area and carbon content. So, how much the deforestation taking place in Indonesia is associated with palm oil production? Data from International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, showed that oil palm development is only responsible for 0.2% of global deforestation.
Deforestation in Indonesia. Wrong forest management is the main cause of forest destruction. FWI analysis showed that deforestation in the period 2013 until 2017 is estimated to 5.7 million hectares. What causes deforestation in Indonesia? Deforestation in Indonesia was increasingly associated with the large-scale plantation, small-scale agriculture and plantation, grassland, scrubland convention, timber plantation, oil palm plantation, mining, logging roads, and secondary forest. From 2009, oil palm plantation were the largest driver of deforestation. But since the beginning of the 2010, the large-scale palm oil expansion has started to slow, and so did deforestation associated with it after peaking on the 2009 and again 2012. Expansion of oil palm plantations went down strongly, contributing to less than 15% of total deforestation in the more recent area. Most recently in 2020, deforestation within palm oil consumption was launched in Southeast Asia during the past.
Hi everyone, my name is Halimatu Metrosdi. So I will explain about deforestation in Malaysia. We have two issues in deforestation in Malaysia, which is the issue of logging and economic development. For the issue of logging, rainforests produce high quality timber, but logging on Malaysia's island is frequently done in an unsustainable or even unlawful manner. Forest fires that are out of control can wipe out entire swath of rainforest. This technology cleared the rainforest far too quickly, leaving the ground barren of vegetations. For the second issue is economic development. For this issue, palm oil, timber, tin oil, and gas all are available export that can benefit Malaysia economically, and as the industry grows, local jobs are also created as roads and bridges are built, infrastructure benefit from industrial growth as well. This could be beneficial to the country and its people. Deforestation, on the other hand, can have a harsh influence on a much greater scale. So for the next part is effect of deforestation. We got three effects of deforestation, which is soil and air water pollutions, soil erosions, and climate change. For soil and water pollution, for every metric tons of oil palm produce, an oil palm mill create 2.5 metric ton of wastewater. The direct discharge of these effluents can pollute fresh water, affecting downstream biodiversity and people. Despite the fact that oil palm plantations do not use a lot of pesticide and fertilizer, their indiscriminate uses can damage surface and groundwater sources. So for the second point is soil erosions. Erosion occurs when forests are destroyed to make way for plantations, and it can also happen when trees are planted in the wrong place. Planting oil palms on steep slope is the primary causes of erosions, increased flooding and silt deposit in river and ponds are caused by erosions. Eroded lands necessitate additional fertilizer and other inputs, as well as road and infrastructure repairs. For the last point is climate change. Draining and converting tropical peak forests is especially harmful because these carbon sinks store more carbon per unit area than any other ecosystem on the planet. Furthermore, forest fire used to clear vegetation for the grazing of oil palm plantations emit carbon dioxide, which adds to climate change. For example, Indonesia is the largest global producer of greenhouse gases due to its higher deforestation rates.
Solution for deforestation. First, law enforcement. The actor responsible for forest clearing are brought to justice. Second, peat restoration in the main focus. The Ministry of Environment has a Director General who handles peat restoration, and the government creates a peat restoration agency that is responsible for restoration to 6 million hectares of degradation peatland in 7 provinces. Third, to provide guidance to the people who cultivate oil palm is as not to the forest and provide guidance the boundaries of where oil palm can be planted and where it cannot be planted so everything can be controlled. Conclusion, the process of deforestation in Indonesia and Malaysia has decreased. This is because the government and the community are starting to realize that maintaining forest ecosystem is very important for life now and in the future. This reduced deforestation has led to the preservation of forest ecosystem areas so that the existing flora and fauna are maintained. Thank you.
Okay, with presentation from group 4. Let's join the presentation of group 5.
Palm oil is one of the top 3 drivers of deforestation in Indonesia, a country that supplies more than half of global demand. Each year in Indonesia, fires are set to clear forested lands to make way for palm oil production. Just last year, over 10,000 square miles were torched, creating fires so big they could be seen from outer space. All of this unleashes massive amounts of carbon into the air. Fires in 2015 added more than 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere.
Deforestation is an important global issue to discuss, and especially for the palm oil industry. So, we are from Group 5 will present to you our topic today, deforestation and its relation to the palm oil industry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sawadika, bonjour, hello everyone. My name is Rahma Maroni as the coordinator from Group 5. Let me introduce our group member. The first one is Nur Shastika binti Muhammad Baiman. The second one is Apriyadina Sution and Rian Anandanowi. Okay, let's start to discuss. What is the deforestation? Deforestation is clearing of the forest and forest past with purpose. There are so many factors that cause of deforestation. The first one may be the clearing of the cultural land, raising animals, as well as obtaining wood for fuel and for manufacturing, of course, and also for the construction. This is a data that describes the trend of deforestation globally. If you see, the trend continues to increase. This figure shows that forest loss remained high after the pandemic, as evidenced by primarily tropical forest loss increasing by 12% compared to the 2009, continuing to increase. And this is the graphic that shows you for the first time since the dataset began in the 2002. Indonesia dropped up to the top three country in the term of tropical primary forest loss. Its rainfall with 170 hectares of loss, down 70% from 2009. Malaysia's primary forest loss fell 39% and PMG declined to 22%.
What is the back impact of deforestation? The first one, the biodiversity loss and associated large changes in forest cover could trigger abrupt and harmful changes. Deforestation also disrupts the global water cycle. With removal of part of forest, the area cannot hold as much as water, creating a dry climate. Deforestation can also result in watersheds that are no longer able to sustain and regulate water flows from river and stream. Another negative effect of deforestation is increasing incidence of human-animal conflicts, hitting hard the success of conservation, in a way alienating the people participation in conservation. Mortality about 50% and 20 elephant was reported due to these severe human-elephant conflicts from this hotspot are annually. Deforestation makes soil prone to erosion by agents such as wind and water. The roots of trees hold the particle soil together, thus preventing the fertile topsoil from being carried away. Soil erosion leads to loss of productivity of the land due to loss of nutrients and soil microorganisms, contributing to global warming. Forests play a very vital role in this cycle, such as the carbon cycle, where deforestation causes carbon dioxide to remain in the atmosphere. This phenomenon is known as the greenhouse effect. The trapped radiation is converted into heat. This heat causes global warming. Destruction of forests also causes modification of climate of an area, mostly leading to desertification and aridity. The last one, climate changes occur if forests are cut down and the oxygen level are also affected. Fewer trees also mean the loss of jobs of the forest workers, and there is a loss of future markets for ecotourism. Heavy rainfall and high sunlight damage the topsoil once the trees are gone, and the forest take much longer to regenerate, and the land is unsuitable for agriculture. Why deforestation happen? First one, global demand for agriculture commodities. This has been seen both in Kenya and other parts of the world, especially countries that have agriculture as backbone of their economy. Trees have been cut down to obtain land for cultivation, both in subsistence and cash crop, both by governments and individuals. Animal grazing, housing, with a worldwide increase in population, land to build houses for people to live is in very much required. Fuel, furniture, and paper. This is because most people who cut down trees do not plant others in their place. Also, if all above needs are to be met by cutting down the trees, even planting two for every tree cut will not prevent desertification. This is because trees take so long to grow and mature, especially so for hardwood trees. And the last one is natural causes such as fire and others. As you can see, the main causes of primary forest loss differ widely in different parts of the tropic due to several causes such as agro-industrial crops, plantation, pasture, and others. Similarly, the current emphasis on the approach to removing deforestation from commodity supply chains rests on the assumption that the government of producer will protect forests to maintain access to environmentally sensitive consumer markets. However, certified sustainable products do not yet command substantial price premium. For tropical forest protection to become a viable political proposition for elected official financial market initiative must be augmented by increased public awareness of many benefits that forests provide, locally as well as globally. Building such awareness through better communication of the science is essential complement to our increasingly sophisticated understanding of why tropical forests are being destroyed.
Next is what will happen if deforestation continue. First is the extent biodiversity are like when covered observed following a tree cover lost even and it's because of the lack of strict government regulation in Indonesia, causing the extension of the biodiversity such as illegal forest burning, which result is the loss of animal habitat. Second is the cause of air pollution is wildfire burning and frequent deforestation, which result in not much oxygen being obtained by animals and humans, so that many living things die. The third is by doing that, so deforestation will cause flooding because there will be erosion in the mountains, so that water will stagnate on the surface. The fourth is a lot of natural habitat like damage due to deforestation, one of which will be the occurrence of pollution, air pollution in an unhealthy environment, and will have an impact on living things such as animals, plants, and even humans. The fact is, in addition to deforestation, there will be an impact on global warming. In addition to produce oxygen, trees also absorb carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide is produced from vehicles pollution as well as industrial waste. Mm, If many forests are deforested, the earth will be warm because there is no more the absorbed carbon dioxide. And the sixth is one of the consequences of deforestation is climate change. Due to the climate change contribute to increasing fires, deadly forests, drought, and flooding. And the next slide is how is it possible to continue? Deforestation will increase with population growth because population growth will cause the demand for food, drinks, and house to increase, resulting in deforestation, which is use and agricultural land and building house to meet human needs. Thank you.
Okay, so what's the solution? From the previous slide, we can see the type of driver of the deforestation. And that is why in here we can conclude that one of the driver is used for creating and fulfilling human needs for food and also happen in this map. We can see from this map that, for example, in Southeast Asia, that 84% of driver of the deforestation is used for community-driven deforestation. Also, the same thing happened in Latin America, where 56% of the driver of the deforestation is actually community-driven deforestation. And from here, we can see because the increasing of human need demand, plantation for community is one of the big driver of deforestation. They start deforesting the forest for creating more farm in order to plant more food for human, right? In order to fulfill their needs. And that's why the fact that the society keeps improving, and of course, deforestation is happening. And this data is taken from World Research Institute in 2018. So what is going to be the solution? Of course, in here we know about one of the sustainable material and resources called palm oil. So why palm oil? First of all, it's relatively cheap. The money that is going to be used to produce more palm oil is actually not that big. I mean, it is relatively cheap. And number two, it is more versatile. It can be grown not using many land. It can be grown just by using a small amount of area of land, which means it is not going to create big deforestation in order to plant that. And also number three, it is high yielding, which means that it can produce more fruit, it can produce more palm oil, etc. And number four, it is most widely produced in that they are everywhere. And this sort is actually taken from the lspo.org, and that is why we also gotta make sure that the company or the stakeholder or the smallholder that produce this palm oil are actually certified by the LSPO to make sure that all of the products that we buy is actually the sustainable friendly in a sustainable way, and that's why we also have to make sure that the smallholder produce the palm oil in a sustainable way, because it is going to be useless also if the producer of the palm oil is not managing and processing the palm oil in a sustainable way, because it is also going to increase the number of the deforestation. From this data, we can see it is actually a previous data that we showed. We can see from 2017, there is actually a big decreasing in the deforestation in Southeast Asia. The same thing also happened in Malaysia, Papua New Guinea, and Solomon Island. From here, we can see that the drop in the primary forest loss in Indonesia and Malaysia, which has now declined for consecutive years, the combination of a government initiative and private sector initiative. In Indonesia, this includes moratorium on new plantation license in some forest area, improve forest and fire monitoring, better peatland protection and restoration, and more widespread adoption of zero deforestation commitment by community trader and buyer. In here, we can see about the impact of the certification by NGO that it can decrease the number of deforestation because they process the palm oil in a sustainable way. So, and also why we have to use palm oil, because basically palm oil based product is everywhere. We can buy them, we can buy in every daily product, and just imagine if we change all of our product into palm oil based product that has certified by the LSPO.
And for the conclusion of our discussion today, it turned out that the deforestation has a lot of impact on the environment, and usual causes of the deforestation are often associated with land clearing for the palm oil industry on a large scale. For this reason, it is necessary to take preventive measures that must be determined by the industry, one of which is the certification. It's all for our discussion today, and for the last quote, forests are the lungs of the world. If you destroy them, it means you destroy yourself. Thank you for your attention. See you and bye-bye.
Thank you, Group 5. Very nice. Let's proceed to the presentation of Group 6.
Hello everyone, it's Wei Musapagramat from Deforestation Group 6, and today I and my partners are going to talk about our topic, which is deforestation. So without further ado, let's get started. People have been deforesting the earth for thousands of years to clear land for crop or livestock. Then, what is the definition of deforestation? Let's see. Deforestation or forest clearance is the removal of forests or stand of trees from land that is then converted to non-forest use. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations defines deforestation as the conversion of forests to other land uses. Regardless of whether it is human-induced, deforestation can involve conversion of forest land to farms, ranches, or urban use.
According to Butler 2012, agriculture is the highest contributors to the tropical deforestation, which is 80%. From this percentage, livestock activity is the highest, followed by commodity plantation activity like soybean oil and palm oil. It is not surprised by saying that agriculture activities are the highest causes that contribute to deforestation. This happened due to overgrowing demand for food products, and this resulted that a huge number of trees have been cutting to grow crops and cattle grazing. The construction of human infrastructures has also been driving deforestation. More specifically, 10% of deforestation can be attributed to new infrastructures that serve the current human lifestyle in three main ways, which is transportation, transformation, and energy generation.
As mentioned, palm oil is one of the highest contributing to the deforestation. Hence, it is important to investigate how true it is. So what exactly is palm oil? Palm oil is vegetable oil made from the fruits of the oil palm tree, where it is squeezed from the fruits of the oil palm tree. One palm tree produces 40 kilograms of oil every year, and according to International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, palm oil is important for global food security and economic development.
Palm oil has become a firm favorite in the production of countless household products and food items, and palm oil is found in about 50% of all supermarket products. Palm oil is used to produce the end product or consumer product either in edible or non-edible products, from food to soaps, personal care, cosmetics, and feedstock for biodiesel as shown in the figure. Palm oil producers want to expand their businesses but run out of available lands, they turn to forest cutting. In this situation, rainforest deforestation for palm oil reaches an immensely vast span. It happens because the palm oil is a tropical or subtropical plant and rainforest areas are the most suitable for its growth. This is why they suffer most. Palm oil has been and continues to be a major driver of deforestation of some of the world's most biodiverse forests, destroying the habitats of already endangered species like the orangutan, pygmy elephant, and Sumatran rhino.
Speaking of negative effects of deforestation for palm oil, first, endangers thousands of rainforest species by destroying their natural habitats for the sake of plantations, which drastically impacts biodiversity. Indeed, Indonesian forests house 10% of the world's unique fauna species, as of the 2014 report of the Ministry of Environment and Forestry in Indonesia. Second, deprive indigenous people of their native lands. In Southeast Asia, where they live for centuries but lost their land right and were displaced. Third, contributes to global warming by increasing GHG emissions due to carbon release, particularly after slag and bomb practice. In addition, shocking fumes of burning forests poison people and nature. Next is increases risk of flooding and landslides because we make a natural barrier to water flows and newly plants once need time to grow. Next is reduces soil health. Trees hold the earth in place where there's strong root system, but the nutrient-rich top layer is easily washed away after the removal, which is as worse to soil fertility. Besides, palm oil deforestation leads not only to soil depletion, but soil erosion and same sedimentation as well, and also adds to water pollution. Wash up soil particle and alter contaminant leak up to water bodies.
The rate of deforestation for palm oil gradually slowed down thanks to governmental control, ecologic NGO activities, law enforcement, public awareness, ethical concerns, producers and consumers' responsibility, and merely common sense. The compliance of oil palm fruit production with voluntary sustainability standards VSS in 2016 made about 17.4% globally. It may seem not really much compared to 82.2% of the conventional one. However, accounted that it had been 100% conventional until 2013, the achievement was great.
Have we ever thought why only palm oil is a target or the main cause of deforestation? Knowing the fact that all the agricultural activities are linked to the deforestation problem, it is undeniable fact that palm oil cultivating is significantly contribute this problem. Did you know to get the same amount of alternative oil like soybean, coconut, or sunflower oil, you would need anything between 4 and 10 times more land, which would just shift the problems to other parts of the world and threaten other habitats, species, and communities. As we acknowledge, palm oil is one of the commercial agricultures. Therefore, palm oil industry in the Southeast Asia region suffer various criticisms and negative reports from the International Non-Government Organization or NGO. This industry has been under criticism for serious deforestation and open burning activities. In addition, this industry had also been criticized for killing orangutan habitat, why it is not as advertised. Contrary, palm oil producers accuse Western NGO are unfairly targeting Southeast Asia's palm oil industry while ignoring agricultural activity in other regions that also contribute to deforestation, such as soybean cultivation in South America.
As compared to soybean oil, we found that palm oil is more efficient since palm oil needs less land area. While in terms of yields, palm oil produces highest compared to other vegetable oils. Example, palm oil is able to produce 12 times more than soybean oil. Palm oil is an incredibly efficient crop, producing more oil per land area than any other equivalent vegetable oil crop. Globally, palm oil supplies 40% of the world's vegetable oil demand on just under 6% of the land used to produce all vegetable oils. The increase in world population is become the reason why agricultural activities are increasingly being carried out. As stated by United Nations report in 2019, the number of world population is expected to increase by 2 billion in the next 30 years, from 7.7 billion currently to 9.7 billion in 2050. Thus, the demand for food is expected to grow substantially by 2050. Furthermore, there are millions of smallholder farmers who depend on producing palm oil for their livelihoods. Boycotting palm oil is not the answer. Instead, we need to demand more action to tackle the issue and go further and faster.
What are the solutions? The Roundtable on Sustainable Palm fact that oil palm cultivating is significantly contributes the same effects to the environment. But the question is, how big the impact and is there any mitigation measures had been taken? We do believe that we cannot stop the palm oil production since the fact has revealed that palm oil is a more efficient crop as compared to other vegetable oil. Thus, due to increasing awareness and pressure from stakeholders, palm oil producing countries are taking prompt decisions to ensure that development of palm oil in the country is within the boundary of sustainable development. Palm oil producers also need to include a no deforestation policy with supply chain implementation.
As example, Malaysia is one of the main palm oil producer and exporter, is also considering various policies and regulation to control the level of environmental degradation caused by this industry. Therefore, good existing laws and regulations had been imposed to cover palm oil as a prime agricultural commodity. Apart from this, the national biofuel policy in Malaysia is an example of new policy decided upon through multi-stakeholder consultation. In addition, the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil (RSPO) is new platform involving new policy measures to ensure the sustainability of palm oil. At last but not least, if plant sustainably, we can protect our environment. Thank you.
And lastly, for those who are watching until this part and have yet to fall asleep, we appreciate that. Thanks for watching this video.
Thank you, Group 6 video. The next is the last group to present on this topic. Let's welcome Group 7. Yeah. Group 7, you can play your...
Hi everyone. Today we are from Group 7. We'll discuss topic about the deforestation. There is the content that will be discussed in our slideshow today.
So, before we're going to talk about the deforestation and palm oils, we're going to talk about deforestation as a whole. So, deforestation is a purposeful clearing of forested land. Throughout history and into modern times, forest has been raised to make space for agriculture and animal grazing, and to obtain wood for fuel manufacturing, and construction. Deforestation has greatly altered landscape around the world. Today, the greatest amount of deforestation is occurring in tropical rainforests, aided by extensive roads construction into regions that were once almost inaccessible. Building or upgrading roads into forests make them more accessible for exploitation. Slash and burn. Agriculture is a big contributor to deforestation in tropics. With the agricultural methods, farmers burn large swaths of forests, allowing the ash to fertilize the land for crops. The land is only fertile for a few years, however, after which the farmers move on to repeat the process elsewhere. Tropical forests are also cleared to make way for logging, cattle ranching, and oil palm and rubber tree plantation.
There are many factors can to cause deforestation. So I want to share you about them. The first factor is a large scale planting.
Yeah, admin, what's wrong with the video presentation? Seems that the signal is interrupted. Can you resume the playback? You just wait, yeah. The last group. Okay, the committee, they have the problem of the connection. All right. We just wait.
Forests so that deforestation process can run quickly. The second factor is small-scale plantation. Usually, these plantations are run by the community or a group of people who live around the forest. Although these plantations are not very large, if there is a large amount of management, they can also contribute to severe deforestation. Moreover, this deforestation is permanent and there is no attempt to replant. The third factor is illegal logging. Illegal logging industry will cause the conservation to shrink with slowly, especially if a wood processing factory is also built in that area. In depollution, a process will run faster and more permanent. Even if the replanting process is carrying out, the process restoration process will take decades. The fourth factor is opening a pit. Road construction is generally carrying out to support industrial process such as a plantation to wood processing. In addition, the opening of line is also carrying out to connect between a village and cities. Even if the contraction in the spot is for a positive purpose, the area traversed will be permanent damage. And then the mining forest area that store mining commodities are quite prone to damage. The deforestation process will be carrying out to facilitate the process of the mining industry running smoothly. Not to mention, this industry will also pave the way to facilitate the process of distributing mining material. Then residential expansion and very important, the implementation of law deforestation is still low.
Okay, let's talking about impact of deforestation. Deforestation has a considerable impact on the communities around forests and also on the world community in general. Maybe the impact of deforestation is not immediately visible at the time, but over time, deforestation will also affect the sustainability of the supply chain if it is not handled properly. Impacts of deforestation first, lesson of habitat for flora and fauna. Lesson of forests can also be interpreted as the loss of the original habitat of animals and plants, so it can threaten the loss of endemic species of flora and fauna of the forest area. The risk of extinction cannot be avoided, especially since deforestation is quite massive. Second, the existence of shifting in the water cycle on Earth. Change in the water cycle on Earth will be disrupted because forests are a source of water vapor which will later become clouds and rains. In addition, forest loss can reduce water absorption into the soil. For the third, trigger the occurrence of catastrophe. Landslide occurred due to absence of a binder in the soil, which is the role of plant roots. In the absence of a binder in the soil, when it rains, water will continue to flow, easily carrying soil particles, resulting in the loss of soil fertility due to leaching of the soil by rainwater, which continuously flows on the surface and eventually causes erosion. When erosion collects into puddles, eventually there will be flooding, and the unstoppable flooding landslide will occur. For the fourth contributor of greenhouse gases, deforestation is a large enough contributor of carbon dioxide, so it can cause uh, global warming. Meanwhile, forests are known as the lungs of the world, which absorb excess carbon dioxide in the air, which will be converted into oxygen that we can breathe through the process of photosynthesis. For the last, the economic impact of deforestation is the loss of livelihoods for people living around forests who live relying on forest product. Okay, thank you. And then my friend will talking about the solution.
Okay, I will go through for the solution part. So for the first one is have a campaign for plant tree, which is it's considered as a lifelong investment into the environment, and it is also essential for the overall health and quality of life in the community. For the second one is develop the paperless at home and workplace, because 40% of all timber is used to make paper product, and the demand for the paper increased by 2 to 3% every year. So we need to train ourselves to reduce by using papers in our real life. The third one is train people to recycle things and also buying recycled product. As example, by choosing item made from recycled paper, you make a conscious effort to lower the demand for more timber. Besides decreasing the needs to cut more trees, your purchase is also supporting paper recycling facilities and reducing the amount of waste entering landfill. And then raise awareness in our circle and community. This can be major environmental problems such as deforestation often continue to occur because of a lack of awareness and knowledge about the problem. By educating them about the effect of their actions, such as palm oil consumption, the amount of deforestation can be reduced. After that, we need to buy only sustainable wood product if we want to use it. As a consumer, you can help to reduce the demand for more logging, especially in illegal logging activities. We need to ensure that after that, we need to buy only sustainable wood product, which means as a consumer, we can help it from reduce the demand for more logging, especially in under the illegal logging activities. We need to ensure the product that we purchase need to be certified by the Forest Stewardship Council, which is from FSC. Moreover, we can also practice for eco-forestry, which means the restorative method of forest management. And then we must avoid from buying a product that containing oil palm. If we cannot to drop some of favorite product with palm oil entirely, at least we need to find the alternative that carries a sustainable palm oil certification. Lastly, we also can avoid the deforestation issues by do not burn the firewood in excessively. If we want to make a fire in our fireplace, then we should burn the wood in sustainably ways that can manage the forest to naturally regenerate the firewood back. That's all. Thank you.
As a conclusion, sustainable development has to be achieved in order to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. However, development cannot be sustained in a deteriorating environment, and the environment cannot be protected when economic growth does not take into account of the cause of the environmental disruptions. It is very important that coordination in the environmental sector should be strengthened, and environmental issues have to be mainstream in all the sectors. Other than that, the key stakeholders in the field must embark on the massive public education campaign on the environment. Last but not least, governments should improve and reinforce the existing policies, and these are the future recommendations that we could suggest after listening to the seminars given. Thank you for listening.
For the full group presentation, very sorry I have to turn off my camera because it is unstable. All right, we have some questions here for the 4 groups. I would like to share, come on, let me please share the questions. First, we'll go to group 4. Here are the questions for group 4. Okay. From Hadi, Pak Hadi Pranoto Melawan speak. Deforestation or land use change become the main problem in the tropical forest management and environment. Agroforestry pattern can become alternative to reduce negative effect of deforestation. Agroforestry can do in the space area on palm oil plantation. In fact, only less palm oil company do agroforestry. What is your brilliant ideas or visions to support for realizing the system to increase land productivity, supporting community and land use sustainability? Okay, what is your idea or vision support for realizing the system of agroforestry? Please, group 4.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy, for the question. I will try to answer the question. So, as we know that agroforestry is a practical and low-cost means of implementing many forms of integrated land management, which seeks to reduce human impacts on land, is it? And it contributes to a green economy by promoting a long-term, sustainable, and renewable forest management, especially for a small-scale producer. So, when the agroforestry is properly applied, it can improve livelihoods to enhance health, nutrition, and increase economic growth, and of course, strengthen environmental resilience and ecosystem sustainability. In turn, such improvement can contribute to increased social sustainability in which human needs are satisfied in a way that fosters environmental health. So, as for agroforestry system is a promising solution to ensure that oil palm agriculture also support biodiversity and conservation. And some may have realized about the agroforestry, but it's doubtful to execute it because people might think it's complicated to achieve it. It is so hard to achieve it. So as for the idea, as for our group idea, it is best to socialize about it. It is best if we socialize about agroforestry to the palm oil industry or even the smallholder industry, or having a collaboration with ISPO to propose the idea. And lastly, it'll be needed the help of government to make the policy of the agroforestry. That's all for my answer for the first question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next question. What or how is the possible way to get effective or responsive involvement on deforestation from the government and planters at the same time?
Thank you, MC, for the questions, and thank you, Madam Azura, for your questions. In my opinions, we need to hold seminar or joint activity which can make people aware of the pros and cons of deforestation. In addition, the government should also set a maximum deforestation within a year to prevent the eradications of habitats, soil and water pollution. Maybe my my group mate can have an answer to.
Okay, thank you, Halimatun, and thank you for Madam Azura. I think we have a suggestion, or we have awareness to the farmer that the farmer for the clearing area problems is to use a concept of environmental friendly clearing, but not burning the forest. Maybe using a have equipment excavator for the land clearing process, so that the cleared forest doesn't cause fire problems. Any other the request the government attention is the dealing with the deforestation process. The government must really take a stand where forest area can be used for industrial plantation, and which is areas are truly areas where flora and fauna are preserved, so the forest ecosystem are maintained, and so that our children and grandchildren can enjoy natural. And the last might be the government must cross-check the areas of companies that have permits, or companies that do not have a permit to clear land, so that where there are no mistake in the forest clearing. I think that's for me.
Thank you. Full. Again, I would like to remind all the participants, please fill in the attendance list. The link to the attendance list has been provided in the chat room box. Please find the link and fill in the attendance list. The next question is for group 5 from Islipane. Palm oil plantation consequences for deforestation, climate change, and natural resources. Palm oil is expected to grow as a global commodity, and the environmental and social impacts of the industry might. And you have successfully addressed some prospective recommendations in the video, but please recommend at least other 3 active and scientific approved practices that the government can collaborate and help protecting species in the most. Group 5.
Okay, I'm going to try to answer the question from Ms. Islipane. What actually we can recommend 3 activity that is scientific approach practice that the company and the government can collaborate and help protecting society species in a most effective way. Number 1, for example, we believe that the government is actually a very powerful actor. They are the one who create policy. They are the policymaker, and that is why in here we believe that the number 1 solution is where the government have to make a strict rule in deforestation. For example, like what I've already mentioned to you previously in the presentation, that there are so many drivers of the deforestation, for example, like agriculture, housing, and animal grazing. And that is why government actually have to make a strict rule in deforestation that is related to the driver. For example, in agriculture, we do believe that there are already some kind of campaign. For example, like we have to use the sustainable palm oil in order to reduce the deforestation, and that's why to believe if the government actually start creating a strict rule, especially in the managing and making sure the company to not deforestate and give a fine to the company that actually disobey the rule that has been stated, and that is why of course that there will be less deforestation that's going to happen, right? And also for the company, like a company that is related with deforestation, for example, like paper factory, they have to actively promote and demonstrate a sustainable way in all of the processing. For example, whenever they want to use a wood to create or timber to create a paper, of course they can start, chopping down the old tree and start planting a new one, and it is going to be a very efficient promotion and demonstration to actually stop the number of deforestation. And also it will be beneficial for the company because the buyer will be more convinced to buy the product and also to support less deforestation. Or the company can also start paperless campaign, for example, by using more technology, like using email to send or receive a letter, and stop using paper for not really serious thing. And that is why by having this, of course, that the number of trees that's going to be used to create the paper is going to be reduced, and we can and the company and the government can actually stop the deforestation. And number 2, of course, that as a government, we do believe that they have to actively educate students and society, because I think I believe that education is the most powerful weapon that can change the world. And that is why we, by educating a lot of people, and for example, like society, student, of course, that it will be, start changing the mindset of society. What, for example, we can start educating them about what they can do to prevent deforestation. For example, like they can start, supporting sustainable product, like buying a certified product, for example, like product from the RSPO, and also they have the government can actually educate the student about how to take care of the environment, for example, like by throwing trash in the trash can, and also many more. And also the government is actually the one who has a power to to educate the student and society, and we believe that if all people are educated, of course that the mindset of the society is going to be changed, and of course the healthier environment is going to be achieved. And also number three is about as a government, they have to protect the vulnerable species. For example, if you really want to make sure that there will be no there will be no more species in extinction, of course that we can create more serious protection to all the vulnerable species in order to proliferate and also to foster them in order to maintain their extinction in the to maintain their population in the world. And that is why I think that's all from my answer. Thank you.
Okay. Group 5, how can you respond to the second question?
I
What
would
is
like
the best
to add
alternative?
point
Okay.
from Ryan, which
Okay.
is this big term of deforestation is a hard to be aware by people as hard by protecting it. By that, it requires big proposition and sites to protect our forest from deforestation, as the question asks. Practices that the companies and the government can collaborate and help protecting species in the most effective way. From my perspective, is the power of the marketplace itself. If the corporation have the power to destroy the world forest, they also have the ability to help to save them, which is the company can make an impact by introducing and implementing zero deforestation policies that clean up their supply chains. That means holding their supplier accountable for producing commodities like palm oil in a way that does not fuel deforestation and has a minimal impact on our climate. Companies not only must make this policy, but they must follow through on these promises, which is maximize the use of their sphere influence and collaborate with other like-minded institutions in their sector, demanding supplier transform the way of their economy works so that the nature is protected and human rights are respected. Also, they should ensure that any credibility assurance it was sourced in a legal way that respect principle of environmental and social responsibility. For example, third-party certification like the Forest Stewardship Council can be a starting point in evaluating sourcing, which is the Greenpeace strongly advises against other weaker forest product certification schemes such as PEFC and SFI. In the United States, laws like Endangered Species Act and the Wilderness Act, the Lacey Act, and the Roadless Rule help to protect their forests and stop illegal wood product from entering the US market. That's all from me.
Thank you. Can you respond to the second question, Group 5? What is the best alternative for deforestation strategy due to palm oil plantation in Indonesia?
The strategic about the deforestation to palm oil plantation in Indonesia. I think it does have a big relationship with illegality. The main source of the deforestation in Indonesia is being discussed at the World Trade Organization, WTO. Cases of logging are often linked to the land clearing for the palm oil industry. Palm oil company must have a specific strategy and become to overcome this problem. Maybe the company must be first one by ensuring that the company is certified. And the second one has a concern for the environment. So the company must be have a concern that the environment is something important that should to solve. And Not only that, it also necessary to cooperate with the government by determining the boundaries and forest area that cannot be logged and setting appropriate sanction for each foliator. Maybe it's all for me. Eviani, maybe you add my answer.
Okay, I will try to answer. The best alternative for deforestation strategy due to palm oil plantation in Indonesia is add one forest area which couldn't process to be industrial area. So if we reduce one area of forest to be industrial area of palm oil, we have to add one more forest area. Maybe that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 5. Very nice to the two questions. Now let's move to the question to Group 5. Group 6. Questions to Group 6. We have one question here. If you have the chance to on deforestation to the public, which group or which age of the society will on and why? Please explain your answer and what type of awareness you are going to make. I mean, is it whether it is with a campaign, with a game, or with league?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I would say that actually, I must say, if possible, I will be focusing on like people of all ages, because like the deforestation stuff should be aware by all people. But if I have to choose, I will be focusing on the teenager first, since it will be more easy to reach like these kinds of people, since we have like social media or internet connection that new gen people might be good at using it. And since I am a student, I might come up with the ideas about how to raise awareness of the problem of deforestation, like a small holding an assembly about the issue of our school or university to let everyone know about what we are doing. And we can also make a poster, like a leaflet to hand out to the classes or author that want more information about this problem, and set up like an eco team who raise awareness about it, deforestation. And sometime maybe while we are on our residential trip, we may develop our knowledge about deforestation even further by discussing with the issue with the nature expert, and after that we share the information with the authors. And we may also hold the campaign to raise people awareness. Maybe it could be like creating some kind of content and using internet and social media like Facebook, Instagram, which is popular in my country, or website, or maybe in advertising on social media, with some platform offer you to create an event with no need to pay, and it will be easy to reach all kind of people. And so you can use this as a way to raise people awareness. And this is my answer. Thank you.
Okay, Group 6. Thank you. We go to questions to. Okay. And you have 3 questions in a row. Okay, you can. Questions number 1. It seems rural poverty is the fundamental cause of deforestation. So, what should be the initial step to alleviate rural poverty and increase resilience in rural livelihood, not only to reduce deforestation, but also to prevent forest degradation? Group 7.
Okay, thank you for the questions. So I'm from Group 7. I would like to answer the first questions. Yeah, I think this is a very good questions. And I think in order to, let me see the questions here. Okay, the initial step to alleviate the rural poverty and increase the resilience in rural livelihood. I think it is very important for us to design a policy or the investment to enable the rural woman or man to benefit from the opportunity to respond to the demand of the natural goods or services. Other than that, integration should begin by having a clear ideas of the nature of the risk they face, and by understanding that avoiding or effectively managing risk is a priority for the poor rural people. Besides, I think it is very important for the public institutions to play an important role in this agenda by including or providing the incentive system or safeguard to the rural communities. And this question mentioned about not only to reduce the deforestation, but also to prevent the forest degradation. I think this is a very good idea. For my opinion, I think the companies can make an impact by introducing and implementing the policies that can clean out their supply chain. That has been mentioned by the previous group before, and also to promote the sustainable choices. It is very important because by consuming less or avoiding the single-use packaging, or we eat sustainable food, or choose the recycle or responsibly produced wood product, we can be the part of the movement to protect the forest. Yeah, this is my answer for the first questions.
Okay, thank you. 7. Next questions. One of the group member mentioned egg solution forestation. One of the solution is to recycle things and to buy recycling product. How would you encourage a community or village to implement the idea?
Okay. Hello. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I will. Thank you for the question from Ma'am Azura Rahman. I would like to answer that question. So, how to encourage a community with the recycled things? So, at first, I think we must educate them by the recycled thing. Like there is a major action how to educate them at first, because after they know how much important are they, so they can do some things to save their earth from deforestation issues. After that they will realize that recycled things are and buy recycled product are the most easier ways to save the forest. And last but not least, the government can create a place such as a recycle shop in certain area which fully with a huge amount of community that can make them more easier to, and also encourage them to do that things. So that's is about our idea.
Thank you. Last questions. According to your group, what is the worst effect of deforestation issue if this problem couldn't be solved? And why so many people didn't aware of this problem?
Okay, I will try to answer these questions. So maybe my other group members, if you want to add on, you can add on after my my sessions. Yeah. So I think the worst effect of deforestation is for the impact of the species extinctions, and this is very serious as for the cascading effect of the extinctions, because for the food web or the food chain, one of the species that extinct will be affected for the next level of the species. So this is a very serious issues. And also the other effect of the deforestation may be the impacts for the environment, for the society, or for the economy. And why so many people didn't aware of this problem? I think this is very, very obvious, because like protecting the forest is not really the main priority for the people, and it is quite a major issue nowadays, as the effort of deforestation to reduce the deforestation, it takes many times, and it takes many money to maintain the forest, and also to restore the forest. It is not it is very expensive. So, and people also emphasize on the profit gains. So I think that is the major issues that we are facing nowadays. Thank you.
Any of you group wants to add some more? Okay, if no responses so far. All right. Thank you for group 4, group 5, group 6, and group 7 for a very nice video presentation. Before we go for the next topic, let's watch a short video on CSSPO. Thank you. Okay. We go to the third session of this afternoon presentation. The presentation in the third is about certification topic. The video of Group 8, Group 9, and Group 10 will be played continuously. So I don't have to call each group to present. And I hope that the judge can drop your question in the chat box while the video is playing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to enjoy the presentation of Group 8, 9, and 10.
Hello everyone, this is Group 8 going to present about certification on sustainable palm oil. First of all, our team consists of Akil, Thanatip, Sharon, and two inactive members are Julia and Imran. The presentation will start from background, ISPO, RSPO, IRCC, challenges, and the way to overcome the challenges. Business can get certified if they meet the sustainability requirements of standards or principles set out in the certificate scheme. A certificate is issued to prove that the standard has been met. There are different types of certification: self-certification, second-party certification, and third-party certification. Palm oil certification adds credibility to company sustainability claims and can provide assurance to buyers and investors that companies are mitigating and managing their environmental and social impact. A lack of certification may indicate critical environmental and social risks in companies' operations, which may result in further long-term reputational and market risks. There are two types of certifications: regulatory, which is national and international. Under the EU Renewable Energy Directive, or RED, palm oil produced through the following voluntary schemes is considered to be compliant with the EU's biofuels sustainability criteria, which are ISCC, RSB, RSPO. Meanwhile, Indonesia government mandatory is ISPO. Indonesia's Sustainable Palm Oil Certification Program was introduced in 2011 with the intention of having all producers certified by 2014. ISPO defines sustainability in terms of compliance with Indonesian laws and regulations. ISPO can also be seen as a promising stepping stone to achieving RSPO standard over time. Indonesia government aims to certify all producers. The special needs of smallholders must be taken into account. Little information about the ISPO certification program is currently available to the public. Furthermore, the certification process has not progressed on a large scale since the standard was introduced. For this reason, today, research has not looked closely at ISPO. The ISPO standard was initiated by the government in late 2009, when several consumer product companies canceled contracts for CPO due to deforestation concerns. Unlike RSPO, ISPO is an obligatory standard that was established with the objective to cover all palm oil growers in Indonesia by 2014. A grace period of 3 years is granted to those plantations that need to make adjustments in their production methods in order to comply with ISPO. Those plantations that need support to meet requirements can receive assistance for a time period of 6 months up to 2 years. There are some ISPO principles. Plantations must comply with all regulations set forth by the Department of Agriculture, the Department of the Environment, and the National Land Authority. According to the Indonesian Palm Oil Association, (ZAPSI), palm oil growers can propose a third-party assessment, local or international, to which they wish to be certified. They can be certified if they are classified as Class 1, 2, or 3. This means that unlike RSPO and ISCC, ISPO will not perform any annual surveillance audit, thus potentially undermining the effectiveness and reliability of ISPO.
What is RSPO?
Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil, or RSPO, is a global multi-stakeholder voluntary initiative founded in 2004. The RSPO vision is to transform the markets by making sustainable palm oil the norm. RSPO standards cover a broad range of sustainability aspects and can have a decisive impact on the environmental and social effects of palm oil production. Sustainable palm oil production is comprised of legal, economical, viable, environmentally appropriate, and socially beneficial management and operation. RSPO sustainability principles. There are 8 principles. The next one, what is ISCC? The International Sustainability and Carbon Certification, or ISCC, is an international certification system for sustainable biomass and bioenergy. ISCC was developed within an open stakeholder process together with associations, corporations, research institutions, and NGOs. Its established procedure aims to ensure the protection of natural habitats and to guarantee the environmental and social sustainability in agricultural production. The EU Renewable Energy Directive, or EU RED, constitutes a meta standard that defines sustainable biofuels through a set of criteria. This is the certification system. Existing standards are benchmarked against the meta standard and have to sufficiently guarantee that the EU sustainability criteria are complied with. And the existing standard must have auditing and verification procedures in place. If a standard fulfills all these requirements, the EU will recognize the standard as a qualifying standard. There are 6 ICC principles for the production of biomass. So there are 3 categories to meet the certification criteria. The first one is sustainability requirements for the production of biomass. The second one is requirements for greenhouse gas emission savings. And the last one, supply chain traceability and mass balance requirements. Comparing sustainability standards. In terms of transparency, RSPO is more transparent than ISCC in terms of providing access to indicators and other types of relevant information. And for environmental criteria, ISCC has greenhouse gases emission reduction target and strict criteria for new plantation. And for social criteria, RSPO focus more on participation. In terms of strictness, ISCC is less strict than RSPO.
Challenges in implementing current standard and certification initiative. There will be legitimacy challenges in implement existing standard in the palm oil sector, even though they are important and promising instrument. Yet, most findings such as weak market demand for limited effectiveness on the ground are also relevant challenges for the emerging ISPO standard or certification under EU RED and need to be seen in broader perspective. As indicated above, in Indonesia, 3 different types of standards are relevant. SPO is important as platform and standard setter, whereas RSPO has been relatively successful with respect some is standard, transparency, economic long-term planning, good agricultural practice, social and certain environmental, and new plantation. Institutional challenge can undermine the implementation of sustainability standard. several reasons. Firstly, the currently regulatory environment undercuts. Secondly, the existing regulation and procedures under certain condition. Thirdly, the centralization has led to the overlapping competence and conflictive policy. Next, overcoming. Overcoming the challenge associated with certification. First, palm oil company can overcome some of challenge associated with certification by disclosing accurate and up-to-date data, engaging with government and justice and civil society. Next, showing responsibility through ensure that high-quality assessment. And finally, participating in initiative that pass certification standard forward.
Certification standards are criteria that palm oil producers, products, or supply chains must meet in order to be credited as sustainable. In order to be certified, there are few things that need to be done. Some of the examples of certification that are available in palm oil plantation is such as RSPO, MSPO, and ISPO. There are few products that are available in market which is being certified under RSPO.
First, our SPO, Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil. Our SPO is a not-for-profit association that is made up of various organizations with the same goal. The RSPO brings together stakeholders from several sectors of the palm oil industry, namely producers, traders, retailers, manufacturer groups, social NGOs, environmental NGOs, banks, and investors. The establishment of the RSPO was motivated by concern about the negative impact of the fast-paced palm oil industry of the environmental. The founding members of the RSPO are
Worldwide Fund for Nature, Arius United UK Limited, Carlslams AB, Sweden, Malaysian Palm Oil Associations, Negroes Genootschap, and Unilever NV.
The purpose of the RSPO is to develop and promote the growth and use of sustainable palm oil products to credible global standard. As of June 2012, more than 900 companies in 50 countries around the world have joined the RSPO. Companies that have been certified by the RSPO are not only recognized internationally, but also get various benefits, such as wider market access both domestically and abroad and using the RSPO trademark. With the RSPO trademark, consumers will know that the palm oil product comes from a producer or company that cares about environmental conservation. Meanwhile, for producers, the RSPO trademark can facilitate the export of palm oil commodities to the European market. Product marked with the RSPO logo will be recognized as standardized sustainable products. Producers or product marked with the logo of an oil palm company that already has RSPO certification must comply with A principles, namely
highly committed to transparency, comply with applicable laws and regulations, have a commitment to long-term economics and financial sustainability, use best practices that are suitable for mills and farmers, responsible for the environment, implements the basic of responsible judgment for employers, individuals, and communities, committed to and responsible for the development, new plantings, and attention activities in this area.
Second, MSPO, Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil. MSPO is Malaysia's national certification for oil palm plantation, smallholders, and palm oil processing mills. MSPO certification is required to ensure that Malaysian palm oil products are sustainable and acceptable in the global market. The form of assistance that will be obtained from MSPO certification is funding for certification fees, training related to MSPO, and chemical storage cell or stores. The party conducting the audit for the audit. The part conducting the audit for an SPO certification is a certification body accredited under the Malaysian Standards Department. The product short is a certification body is appointed by the Malaysian Palm Oil Certification Council, MPOCC, which will conduct the SPO audit. However, MSPO-related training and guidance to smallholders will be managed by the Malaysian Palm Oil Board, MPOB. The role of MPOB is to assist in the preparation of documents, then provide training to SPOC members and also provide guidance. In addition, MPOB also promotes an SPO certification at home and abroad. Third, ISQ, Indonesian Sustainable Palm Oil. The ISPO system is a policy taken by the government of Indonesia, in this case the Ministry of Agriculture, with the aim of increasing the competitiveness of Indonesian palm oil in the world market and participating in fulfilling the commitment of the President of the Republic of Indonesia to reduce greenhouse gas and provide attention to environmental issues. ISPO was established in 2009 by the Indonesian government to ensure that all palm oil entrepreneurs meet permitted agriculture standards. There are several important things in the insurance of ISPO certifications that palm oil plantation processing entrepreneurs must complete with, namely,
prohibition of land clearing by fire or burning, planning and implementation of land conservation, prohibition of land use with a slope of 30%, prohibition of the use of customary lands, water source, and areas included in protected areas, obligation to build a water management system, obligation to actively conserve land, obligation to conduct feasibility studies, and AMDAL. The difference between RSPO, MSPO, and ISPO, there are several aspects, namely legal aspects, employment aspects, environmental aspects, and social aspects.
Sustainability certifies has real benefits, including better environments and financial performance. According to a study comparative life cycle assessment, ISPO certified versus non-certified. Initials by 2.0 LCS consultant disclosed during RT17. It showed that the benefits for certified companies include reduced greenhouse gas emissions, peat land and better water quality, high yield and attraction rate, gas capture and the impact on biodiversity is reduced. Protecting the environment by producing certified sustainable palm oil is also good for profits. Palm oil's profitability and sustainability is the first study to comprehensively examine the financial costs and benefits of sustainable palm oil production under guidelines set forth by the Reliable or Sustainable Palm Oil or ISPO. Is jointly run by WWF, the CDC, the UK Development Bank, and the Dutch Development Bank (FMO). The reports found that the economic benefits outweigh the financial costs of sustainable palm oil operation. Many companies have switched to sustainable palm oil production and the environment and get a return on investment in some cases. The shift to sustainable production is an economic shift for business, producer, buyer, and investor, seeing sustainable palm oil as a significant business opportunity and growing demand for palm oil. And the Indonesian Sustainable Palm Oil or ISPO is a legally binding and mandatory certificates process for all palm oil growers, except smallholder. In Indonesia's aims to make it the country's main sustainability platform, but now in the government is focusing on how involve smallholder farmers, and there is a volunteer contribution from smallholder farmers so they can be more sustainable as well. From practice in key production without expanding the lands enhance diversified product and develop downstream industry and adds value, enhances the market's price, innovate and develop business, and have good agricultural practice assist the market and trade barrier, and have labor standard.
Now, let's move on into issues and challenges on certification. The first one is lack of incentive due to the injustice on premium price. Although farmers has already been certified, incentive to farmers has not been placed well. This other way around has discouraged farmers to not be certified. The second one, based on research in Indonesia, lack of smallholder organization is the most essential barriers to independent smallholder certification. Meanwhile, 45% organizations that is available has provided limited services like input, credits, or even training, and even have little ambition to improve their services. And more importantly, larger and better equipped cooperatives were absent. And the third one is they are unable to meet the legal requirements. In Indonesia, these requirements include the need for land title, business permits, and also environmental permits. We find that these permits is expensive and also time consuming. Another thing is they are unable to practice a good agricultural practices in their farming. Another alternative to improve sustainability, such as conservative agricultural practices, is also cannot be done continuously. From a social perspective, the adoption and impact of certification on smallholders from various aspects, including livelihood, management, compliance with certification, and agricultural practices, has been widely explored. So here is some of the possible ways and solutions that needs to be highlighted on and can be done. The first one is we need to find and be a skilled and motivated personnel to take up any key position within the organization. By having a good management, we can improve a certification and it can be done easily. Next, in order farmers to meet a legal and procedural compliance, the government should play an important role in order to transform the palm oil business to a sustainable one. Here are some of the possible ways which by propose a livelihood setting approach, where the company should invest in the social and human capital of the smallholders through policies and the rewarding of good practices. Throughout investment in community, capital could bring a positive outcome and improve the smallholder livelihood and also managerial skills. The last one is one of the most important steps that need to be done, which is we need to convince more people to support a sustainable products by exposing the benefits of certifications. The first one, government should highlight it and expose more correct information regarding the sustainable productions and certifications that is available. And the last one, which is individual itself, we need to practice a sustainable lifestyle. We need to have an equipped knowledge regarding the certification, sustainable, and impacts on the environmental issues if we not be sustainable starting from now.
Hello everyone, we are from group 10. We talked about certification. There is 4 of us that going to present about the certification. First, my name is Rizky Nopriamas, the coordinator of group 10, and also our team member, there is Wong Chin Yuan, Yeni Almarida, and also Pirapat Prikwek. The first of all, we're going to talk more about the certification, why it is really matter, why it is important, what is the kind of the certification, and so on and so forth. First of all, we're going to talk about RSPO that will be delivered by Wong Sin Huan. 2 Yuan, time is yours.
Thank you, Rizky. So I'll be introducing more about the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil. It is an international organization that tries to promote sustainable palm oil by working with different stakeholders. So this can include, but it's not limited to oil palm producers, processors, farmers, traders, consumer manufacturers, retailers, banks, and even environmental and social non-governmental organizations. There are many stakeholders who are involved in the production of palm oil before it gets to us as consumers. And these are, for example, large companies that provide the fresh food branch supply, businesses that sell different refined oleochemicals from the palm oil that has been sent to the refineries. And finally, also quite importantly, the smallholders who compete with big companies and big plantations to sell their fresh fruit branches and try to earn a living. There's also a rural and urban side to it. So the consumers are in the urban part and the farmers are in the rural part. It's important that all of these people are working together to make sustainable palm oil possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for Yuan as the presentation. Right now, we're gonna to discuss more related to this concept of the palm oil certification. Why is it so important to have the certification? There are two reasons why we should have why is it very important to have the certification. The first is related to the sustainability concept. If in the previous discussion we have talking a lot about the sustainability concept regarding how the importance of the palm oil itself have the system that's sustainable and so on and so forth. But to protect the sustainability concept is by the term of certification. So the term of certification that we mean here is about how, wait a minute. Sorry for this disruption. We're going to continue regarding our presentation. Thank you for Yuan, who are already talking about RSPO. And now we would like to more focus why it is so important to have the certification. There are two reasons why we need to have this certification itself. The first is related to the sustainability concept that we already talking and discussing before. It's really important where the certification has have a term to make sure that how the people that running the palm oil entrepreneurship is understand the concept of certification as well. So because of it, the certification is like filtering the people that running the sustainability concept or not. The second is from how we are harming or we are reducing the harming that may happen in the palm oil such as the deforestation. Deforestation and unstable supply chains. It is the problem that may happen actually because of there is no good regulation that may happening in our policy itself. Because of that, as what we discussed further, there is a lot of regulation that may happening like RSPO is international regulation itself. In Indonesia, we have a national policy as well, such as Indonesian Sustainable Palm Oil, ISPO, Presidential Instruction Number 8 of 2018. And it is just the example on how the most important is to implement the regulation and the policies that we may have. And because of it is so important to pretend the certification to make sure the sustainability concept and also the potential harm may be reduced. Okay, the next will be delivered, but what is the concept of sustainable certification by Yeni?
Okay, thank you, Rizky, for the change for me. So let's talking about sustainable certification. A certification, as we know that a written statement for an individual or institution indicating that it has met the standard. And sustainability certification is very important to be the basis benchmark in action. Okay, next please. Okay, thank you. Okay, with clear certification that sustainability becomes something real. So it's will realize this is very complex because it's not only related to entrepreneurs, but also the community and the government. I think the three things are the main thing of sustainable certification. The first is talking about the society, the government, and then the entrepreneur or companies. We know that the society, the society must be aware of the importance of certification from sustainability. And then the government must support with strong regulation. And then the last, for entrepreneur or companies must obey the rules. And they always regular monitoring is also the main thing that can be done from the government. And also for society, as apply as important role for all the things that we know. sustainable certification. I think that's all. Maybe next delivering to my friend P. Time is yours.
So there is certification benefits such as flexible and effective, enhance academic performance, improve reputation, enhance credibility, and increase confidence. Next slide, please. So certification may help some farmers reach more lucrative markets and gain greater returns. And it can help them improve their skills and understand about quality, markets, or learn new production techniques. Thank you.
Thank you so much for P and Yeni and also Yuan that have presented regarding our presentation today. I think that's all for our presentation. The most important is how the certification has become to be one of the things that we need to focus on, how this is important to be the aspect that need to be implemented. Like talking about supply chains, deforestation, deforestation may be an increase, and also supply chains may be unstable if we are not implement this certification. That's why it's so important for us to notice this kind of topic. Thank you so much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Kapun ka.
All right, thank you. The presentation of Group 8, 9, and 10. Now we go to discussion session. Yeah, discussion first. We go to discussion first, and we have the video playback after. Group 8. Yeah, I have the questions for you. For Group 8, you have one question. One of the group member mentioned that some companies did not expose us for certification purpose. Why does this happen? What is your suggestion to overcome the problem? Group 8, answer this question. Group 8, are you around? Please.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yes, please.
All right. Thank you, Ajura Rahman, for the question. This question is related to achievement of the certification. Although I cannot 100% represent for those industries to give these exact reasons, but based on our group perception, our SPO has high scheme criteria, start from the fulfillment of NDPE and etc. And some industry try to climb the certification wall by not giving a really accurate data, especially small to medium level industry that is still in a growing pace. But they need international seeker. Like in here, I want to say that it doesn't mean that they are giving a fake information, but the data seems likely to be achieved by them soon enough, or is still in the progress. From the industrial perspective, of course, we require certification, hoping the organization or government to adapt the circumstances of industry into the criteria. And meanwhile, for the other side, for the organization of the creator of the scheme itself, we would like to have a stricter audit to look at the proper data from each industry.
Okay. Next questions for Group 9. Suggest the best practice for certification process to benefit companies.
Okay, I'll answer the questions from Ms. Azura Rahman. I think the best practice is we should increase the awareness that if the product is certificated, the customer will trust the product more. The trust of customer is the important thing in supply chains. So we should increase the awareness of the importance of the certification. Furthermore, the certification also could increase the sustainable of product quality, because the certifications make the product achieve the standardization of customer. Thank you.
Oh, okay, yes. Now we go to the questions for group 10. If you, sorry, you want to add some?
Okay.
You want to add something?
It is for number 10, right?
Yes, number 10. Okay, group number 10. Okay, if you own a palm oil company, that makes you want to get certified, please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. for the change, and thank you for the question. I will try to answer the question. That's talking about if you own a palm oil company, what is the main reason that made you want to get certified? I think main reason is to give me the best consumer, but also pay attention to the environment. So certificates are a standard for me as entrepreneur or companies to measure how and whether my company has met the standard for public health and also protecting the environment. Besides that, certification is also an issue that can support sustainability. Based on yesterday's topic, I found that three things that are balanced, namely environment, society, and the economy. And I think also as a young generation who are aware of the importance of certification for sustainability is number one concern. I think that's all, Mr. I think my friend from group 10 will add something. Ricky, maybe.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. And the question, I would like to giving a new also addition information. If we are own a company, I think the most important as the owner of the company is one of it reliability and also the legal stand. Because of that, if as the owner of the palm oil company, of course, it is very important to have the certification itself because it makes you are reliable to the society. Because what we want to achieve in the society is a trust society. And talking about sustainability concept and also talking about the reliability of the owner company, of course, it is very important to have a certification. Because of that, to make sure that my business going to be very well and sustainable, so the answer is going to have a certification. And that's what I think if we own the company, it has become to be the aspect that we need to consider. Thank you for a chance. That's my answer. I give back to the moderator.
Sorry, moderator, can I add something?
Yes,
Again?
please.
Okay, thank you. Guys, I think this nice question because we are a young generation join this program and then we know about certification. And who don't know, maybe one day we will to be the owner of palm oil company. So I think we must note it and remember it when I to be a palm oil to be owner of palm oil company. That's all. Thank you, moderator, for the time.
All right. Okay. Yes, I do believe that some of the
Sorry,
participants
sir.
today.
Can I ask
Yes,
answer to I'm group 8, by the way. For the one that you asked, for question for group 8, I would add that I suggest creating another criteria specifically for smallholders, so it is reachable for them and smallholder could achieve the certification. And back to the mission of the scheme, this is created to have a sustainable supply chain of palm oil. We hope that certification is not an obstacle for sustainability in the end of the day. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. No more interruptions. Okay. So thank you, group 1 until group 10. You have a very presentation. I do believe that in the future, some of you will become a planter, own a plantation. And I do believe that you won't do deforestation. And I think you all want to be certified. I believe so. All right. Thank you for the discussion. I hope the judges can make the decision which group presentation is the best for each topic. Next, let's join me to watch video playback on the students' perception. You can play the video.
Hello everyone, I'm Winner and I'm here to talk about one of my teammates. His name is Akil Halim. I'll just call him Akil. He's in the third year of agricultural extension from Andalas University, Indonesia. Work is his motivation. He has a hobby of writing poetry and self-motivation. He has a unique personality. He smiles easily and always tries to laugh. He has got a goal of being able to speak English well and effectively, but he's confused by his ability that are not in line with his enthusiasm. He has a high curiosity but afraid to try. He was once selected as a candidate for outstanding student of the Faculty of Agriculture and Dallas University. He has a friendly and kind attitude towards others. He dreams of becoming a competent writer and extension worker, even though his writing skills are higher than his communication skills. He has an agricultural extension site, which is intended as a basic for sharing knowledge about extension and other stuff to the public. Every day he searches and continues to look for ideas to write poetry and self-motivation. He's able to work well in a team. He loves to help others. He's happy to tell important things and always tries to remind others. As a novice writer, he never runs out of ideas and keeps looking for them. Making friends with a million ideas is his daily food. He's eager to share his counseling knowledge with me since I was interested in his major and wanted to enter the scope of his department. And that is all I want to talk about Akil. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Akil. I'm here to talk about one of my teammates, which is our coordinator, Saron Chia. Call her Saron. She is majority third year food science and technology student from University of North Sumatra, Indonesia. Work hard, play hard is her motivation. She will never lose of others until getting better and better. She has selected as the most outstanding student of Faculty Agriculture 2021. Taking the agriculture and food security as main topic to reduce reliability of import food. Before that, she has achieved some scientific paper competition reward about the immunomodulator in pandemic era. Her art ability won't stop her to work further. She spread her careers as part-time graphic designer and will flourish startup from e-commerce as well as CEO founder on a pet shop, well, which is currently open. She also loves photography and little bit addicted to keep up and food. Furthermore, she is an active person will that talks along us. She can new people to try find connection more and more. This extrovert side of her brings advantage in public speaking that had brought debate achievement as fifth best speaker with second place Yusu Games 2020. Craving the achievement is edge of greedy, yet shine brighter than others is her motivation, is her motto. Hectic schedule must be a friend of her, and sometimes could cause too much pressure and ignorance of rest time. She could be easily affected by things or people opinion. Yet she will be very toxic if she wrong if she enters wrong environment. Fortunately, this side of her makes a really open-minded and easily addicting person of new idea.
Hello everyone, I'm Aspirations, the A coordinator of the Group 8 in this workshop. Spreading connection worldwide and helping larger people to learn it are a very interesting things to do for me. Here I am. I'm going to talk about one of my teammates from Thailand. His name is Thanatip Chiwijipan, or you can call him Winner. It is kind of weird for me because his nickname and his real name is quite different. But he told me that in Thailand, it's normal for people to have their real name and nickname to be completely different because parents give their kids name that way. Winner is a second year of English major student at Faculty of Liberal Arts of Raja Mangala University of Technology Sriwijaya Songkla. Before that, he ever entered the aviation diploma, yet it wasn't his match. And he was born and raised at Hatsai Songkla province. If you ever wonder where is it, it's at the southern part of Thailand. It's quite a famous place. He was born on 1st June 1919, so he is 22 years old now. He studies on Saturday and Sunday. Meanwhile, in the weekday, he always spends his time to work as assisting family business, which is jewelry shop. His leisure time, he likes to listen to the music, podcast, and he also started to read just a few months ago. I think it is nice to know what people do in my age. Winner is also a food lover. He likes to try all kinds of food from other culture or other country. But the most preferred food for other country is Japanese food. As the same for me, Japanese food is the best, especially for their sushi and ramen because it's very yummy. He is also interested in self-development stuff. He always aims to be improved or to be better than himself yesterday, and always learn to have some new skill. Winner also taught me how to say "sawadika" as a greeting in Thai. Lastly, I'm very grateful to know about him and other group mates in the group 8. So here is my introduction video about Winner, and thank you for watching.
Okay, thank you for a video playback. Okay, all right. I would like to remind you all. Oh, we still have.
Hello guys, I'm Nurul Hasmi. I'm going to introduce one of my friends. Her name is Napaswanan Bonchai. Her name is Tong Nguyen. She's come from Thailand and her majority is in economic. Her hobby was very social and
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning
Hi everyone,
to all of
my
you.
name is Napaswan
Sawadee
Bunchoy. You can call me
Honorable
Tong. I'm from
Professor
Malaya
Dr.
University in
Insinyur
Thailand.
Samsurijal,
Now I'm
Rector of
studying at the major
Universitas
economics.
Syahkuala,
And my
Honorable
favorite thing to do
Associate
is
Professor
create social
Dr. Hendik
media
Lamsali,
like
ikuti
Instagram,
Vice so much
Facebook,
effort to organize.
and
Thus, we hope
sometimes I practice
similarly
a
be
new
safe for a long
language
time.
such
The
as
solidarity of
English,
achieve the expected till the
Chinese,
condition
and
is
Korea.
getting better.
From
Stay
movie,
safe and
K-drama,
keep
and music
healthy.
on
Thank you.
Netflix
Wabillahi
and
walhidayah.
YouTube.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
And my friend
wabarakatuh.
Hanis,
Sawadee
her favorite thing to do is, I think she loves gardening because she really likes
Almost of
plants
much
and
effort to organize committee.
baking.
For
Okay, see ya.
Hello everyone. Now I'm going to introduce my friend who is from Pakistan. His name is Mohammed Usman. Currently, he is waiting to be graduated in PhD of Agriculture Economy. For your information, he already have about 24 research publications. And as for now, his designation is as visiting lecturer. Here is the list of favorite things that he loves to do, which is gardening, traveling, and watching birds.
Hi, Adi Yusista is from Indonesia. She is studying agribusiness at Department of Agribusiness, Faculty of Agriculture in University of Negeri Salya, Indonesia. She always obtained good marks in all his academic career. She also participates in different curricular and extracurricular activities. Singing and listening to music are her hobbies.
Hi, I'm Adi Yustika. I want to introduce my friends. He is the last members of our group. His name is Nurul Azmi. He also from Indonesia like me. His major is Physics, Universitas Negeri Medan, North Sumatra, Indonesia. His hobby is basketball. Thank you.
I want to introduce my friend from group 10 in sustainable group. So I want to introduce one of it. His name is Pirapat Triklek, or you can call him P. He was born on May 25, 2001. He is a student at Walaikuk University, English major, a School of Liberal Art in Thailand. Now he is studying pedagogy. So he has a good desirable to understanding English, because his dream is speaking English fluently with foreigners. And I think after the discussion with our group, we try to make the dream of P become to be truth. Because of it, he is our friend, and he had a good motivation to learn regarding palm oil and supply chains as well. Out of in the background, he don't know about it, but after this workshop, we are really curious with what we want to learn here, and he is someone who wants to learn more from that. And he also have something that he likes. He likes to play crossword board game and playing badminton. So we have the same hobby. That's why we hope that we can be more become to be more friendly each other, because in one team we have many similarity regarding our hobby. That's it, the introduction of my friend. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Yeni Almarija. I am from Indonesia. And now, I want to introduce my friend. She is from Singapore. Her name is Wong Sinwan. You can call her Sinwan. She is a student from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, and her studying history and environmental sustainability. And she enjoys swimming and trying different types of foods. And her birthday is in January. I hope I can see her soon because she is beautiful and smart girl. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Rizky Nur Priyama is an international law student of Syah Kuala University. His nickname is Rizky Kino. During college and in daily life, he enjoys organizational and business activities. He's also active and joins many workshops regarding soft skills and loves to try many things and gaining experience more. His dream is to get financial freedom through being an entrepreneur.
Hello, my name is Pirapat Triklek. I come from Walaikuk University, Thailand. Today, I would like to introduce my friend. Her name is Yeni Amarita. She was a student at Mulawaman University, Agriculture Department, Indonesia, and she was studying molecules. Her nickname is Yeni or Nickname. During college, her enjoyed participating in some race and organizational activities. Her was interested in this activity because her was interested in palm oil and wanted to know more. Her also enjoyed learning new things and gaining experience. She was born in July 16, 1999. Thank you.
Okay, this is video playback. Thank you all. I would like to remind you again to fill in your attendance list. Please find the link in the chat box and fill in your attendance so we can record your presence on the fourth day of this workshop. Okay, now we push to the end of this session for today, the workshop closing. Before the closing, I think we'd like to invite your participation comment in webinar. Admin, can you share the main for the closing? The main, do we have it now or after the closing ceremony? You all about the topic rising awareness on sustainability. Yeah, the video in YouTube. It was the winner of awareness rising best presentation, and our video will be announced on the closing ceremony, October 2021 at 2 o'clock. I hope everyone is happy to join the closing. It will be announced on that day. Okay. Yeah. All right. We want your feedback. Grab your handphone and go to www.menti.com. The code is 2184-5087. If you are using a please admin share the link in the chat box so they just can click to these questions. What do you think about this workshop? Okay, so share the link box, you can click that. If you have your handphone close to you, you can go to menti.com, the code 2184-5088. Okay. Okay. You think that the workshop is fantastic? Great, yeah. Great experience. I believe so. You work a lot to creating and thinking using insights and solution. Yeah, innovative, amazing. Okay, fun. Yeah, I can't agree more to this because we can stay with us until at the time that people should be very sleepy. At the time you all look very enthusiastic, giving on opinion, responding to the presenters, and then listening to the feedback. It is really fantastic. You obtain a new information, okay, as I do. Thank you for the participants. We all keep our learning. Opportunity for us to learn and to understand. And as leader of the okay, admin, please remove this pop up. You're sharing your screen with us. Okay, great. Yeah, innovative, new relationship. Yeah, you meet new people with the same vision. Yeah. Avoiding deforestation, understanding certification, and understanding the supply chain. That's something okay, cool. Absolutely. Plus, okay, great, fantastic. Yes. Everybody, come on, give your comment and idea. It's a friendship we all. Okay, we go to the next question. To improve your understanding and awareness about sustainability. And the answer is, again, go to menti.com. The code is still the same, 21845087. That's to also improve your understanding and awareness about sustainability. Absolutely, yeah, sure, yeah, okay. Also, improve my insights and opinion about palm oil. Everybody else in this workshop. Okay, it really improve our awareness and understanding of sustainability, deforestation, and certification. Okay, yes, more than I expect. Okay, thank you. Yes, that's right. Okay. Thank you to all the participants. You really like the workshop and it shaped you on the new vision of what sustainability is, of what deforestation. As I said, I believe that some of you will become the owner of plant small holders, maybe a big one, and you will be aware of all of this concern. Sustainability is so important. Exactly. Yeah, really understood. Okay, so much new information. Okay, you got a new understanding. Okay, very nice responses we have so far. I think the other participants will agree. We have 47 participants around. I think I do all agree with all of the responses. Okay, thank you again for the participant for a very, I think, very nice, yeah, regarding the time that, oh, we have one more. Okay, this is very nice. We would like to get your view. What can be done to improve the workshop into 2022? Okay, we share the link because now we are using a different code with the same sites, menti.com. The code 45411-464. We would like to listen to your voice. What can be done to improve the workshop in 2022? Okay. What can be done to improve the workshop in 2022? Oh, games. Okay. We'll think about, I think 2022 we will meet. There will be a very nice game that we can have. I believe so. More discussions. Strong commitment. Just committed to the topic and fight for this. More activity. Okay, we will put game inside, so it will be fun. Okay, practice in the field. Okay, festival or field visit. Yeah, more activity. Maybe we can input field visit, quiz about the subject. Okay, put quiz after the presentation. We'll think about this. More challenging activities. Okay. Great. Okay, again, please go to menti.com, use the code 5411464. Okay, in the future, we need more activities. We want to practice in the field or we visit the field. Okay, more discussion. Okay, it can be offline. I believe so. Next year would be okay to have an offline activities. For times, okay, put quiz on the subject. Yeah, we'll try to jot down what you have, the idea you put here to improve our 2022 workshops. Okay, next. Do you think such an improvement need to be spread among communities? Do you think such improvement, I mean, the general insight you have made in this workshop need to be spread among the communities? Okay, yes, I get 2 yes. Yeah, we should, yes, 3 yeses. I think we should spread, yeah, what kind of improvement it. I believe the video you post on YouTube will attend a lot of likes, so you can also share the link to your friends so they can see and watch what we have been doing in this 4 days workshop. Okay, and then it should be spread to the community, so more and more people will aware of what about in this 4 days. So it should be spread. Okay, all right, definitely we want to keep it secret. Okay, so no, one responsibility want to keep it in secret, but mostly I understand it should be spread. All right, great. Okay, and then okay. Yes, okay. I do believe that most respondent, but most participants agree that the improvement is spread among communities. We have 2 more questions. Okay, wait for 2 more questions. Don't go from menti.com. Now to a different code in menti.com 9746692. Do you think the first batch workshop participant can be part of a movement to raise the awareness?
No. To raise the root mistype. To raise.
Oh, to raise, okay.
Everybody is already tired.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We wait. Okay. I think with the same link and code, yeah, with the same link and code. Yeah, do you think the first batch workshop? What's going on? Okay, clear the responses first. Okay, we'll do this one. We have 2 more questions. Your feedback on our 4 days workshop of how we can improve us, inputs of how we can make it better in the future. You have pointed out what is your concern. Okay, here we have already. Do you think the first batch workshop participant can have a movement to raise the awareness? Okay, I mean, this is your first batch workshop and all the participants. Do you think you can be? Yes, that can. Of course, it will be a pleasure. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. You can be a part of the movement, the awareness. Okay, we have okay. Great. Need some responses to menti.com, code 97466922. Do you think the first batch was doing these participants of this workshop can be part of a movement to raise the awareness? Yes, everybody is very sure. But one response not very okay. Maybe you're busy. Okay. Exactly. Some are very optimistic they can be a part of the movement. Okay. Okay. Yeah, great. Let's go to the next question. The last question with the same and code 97466922. Okay. How to start the movement? If you want to be a part of the movement, how to start the movement? Give me your ideas. Okay. How to start the movement? All right. Same code 97466922. Okay. To start this, to spread by the issues in the social media. more, to study, to spread by the social media. Okay, but at first from us, yeah. We share the videos in social media. Okay, by issue using the social media, the video, and then to learn more, to practice. Okay. Social media is the best. Okay, we start from community common issue. Okay, we start from common issue. Okay, great responses. I think we learn and we study more on the issues, then we distribute or we socialize the issue to social media. We make the video. Okay. Study, practice, and learn more to spread among the family. Start from the community issue. Okay. Yeah. All right. I think we have a lot here now. Yes, I think we have a lot from you. We will learn the suggestion. Yeah, okay, it comes to the end. I return the session back because now we are going to workshop closing ceremony. Be here, and I think you are all would like. You should join the closing ceremony on the 7th October. For that, we will have a short workshop closing. I return the session to Dr.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rudy, for the fantastic MC. If you all realize, we still have John Makroda here, and the three topics that we already discussed in the last 4 days, tough topics that is widely discussed all over the world, and you do it very good. And all of the 3 tasks that you already been accomplished is very good, beyond our expectation. Thank you very much for all hard works. And I also want to thank for all judges for being with us for the last 3 days. We have Dr. Nasrullah, we have Dr. Isli, Dr. Azura, Dr. Muhammad Saiful, Assistant Professor Dr. Harisol, Dr. Mirawati, Dr. Emia, Dr. Hasna, Dr. Hadi, and also have before that has Kuram, has Sofik, has Connor with us. And I think although this is not the formal closing, we still have the 7th October formal closing. Maybe this is the time for us, for all being here, interact one to another, because on the 7th of October, there will be a short closing ceremony, only about 30 minutes, announcing the receivers of 10 awards that's going to be delivered to all of you. We are going to have 6 awards for the presentation topics, the 3 topics, and then we are going to have how many? 3 awards for the awareness raising, and then the favorite one. Hopefully you all can get one of that, but if not, you all already accomplish a very good jobs for the whole 4 days. So thank you very much. And of course, I would like to thank the team that our solid team that is very supporting. Yeah, I will introduce the team. Yeah, we have here. Oh no, yeah, this is me. And then I got Ria here. Yeah, and Kaliki. And yeah, Kaliki and Chris, and then Haslin. And these are the team that already worked very hard. This is Chris. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So see you next year, because we are going to have this every year, hopefully. We also still have Jean-Marc here. Maybe before we really closing this until 7th October, I would like to have a very quick listen to very